Welcome into the Ryan Ripken Show. Can you hear me, Brad?
Hey,
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Hey, welcome on in, everyone, to a brand new edition of the Ryan Ripken Show. Happy Monday, happy game day. Ravens-Chargers kicking off tonight in under 4 hours now, 8:15 out in L.A., so we're combining the shows. So thank you guys for being patient. We're pushing back so we're able to get a little bit of the best of both worlds. We'll have our regular show. We'll get you ready for the Ravens-Chargers tonight. And we switched up the setup in here because we were doing a few things, a lot of room for activities. So to my right, actually.
Boom.
Oh, wow.
Here
The
we
zoom
go.
in, too.
Here we go.
Whoa.
There we go.
Zach's a little bit taller than our previous guest.
So here we go.
Well, he is.
I
It's
will
setting
say-
the moonlight, too.
Yeah, I got the had to realize which camera I was looking at. Got thrown off, so it's right ahead. Here we go. Here we
Hold
go.
on, I'm going to get
I kind of like this. You know?
Yeah, don't get used to it. Just kidding. Actually, it is nice having a little company.
Yeah, I gotta get.
Okay, here we go. Oh,
Boofs.
see, we're throwing it off, and then there's Brad there by himself. Brad, you know you're just showing a camera of yourself, correct?
No.
Well, that's Brad. That's where Brad's going to be sitting here today.
Yep, there's
And
Brad.
he'll be back.
Still.
Great start to the show. If you guys can hear us, let us know where you guys are tuning in from. We got some good energy here today. I don't know if it's because we were trying to get our sound check done, which, you know, that's for a different time, but we're feeling good. We're excited about what's happening here. And look, how can you not be excited about a Ravens game day, right? Because look, it's a massive game for both teams. Baltimore now can pick up a game on Pittsburgh. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
It's the Harbaugh Bowl tonight. It's L.A. Ravens versus the Baltimore Ravens, or Baltimore West, as some are calling it, Zach. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of room for activities here. There's a lot of room for a whole lot of things over here. Got to clean this up eventually here. But, yeah. Let us know where you're tuning in from. I'm seeing Virginia Beach for Steve. And, hey, stop traffic, Steve. We got a gridiron golf for you coming your way. Anything else that I'm missing here? Brad, you're behind the scenes?
Oh, hey.
There you are. Brad does exist.
I do exist.
I do exist. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Just kind of scrambling. But, yeah, ready to get the show on the road.
We are ready to get the show on the road here, and we appreciate all of you guys for your support. So where do we want to start? Do we want to just start with what's happening tonight real quickly?
Yeah.
Besides a little bit more diving into the game. All right. So Ravens, Chargers, we understand the Harbaugh Bowl. It's happening. But for Baltimore, it means more than just, another game. You can say all you want. There's some, I don't want to say there's tensions, but there has been some things that former players have talked about with the Ravens. You know, there's Gus Edwards over there. There's J.K. Dobbins. A lot of the staff's over there in Baltimore. Greg Roman's going to have his chance at a little bit of revenge against Baltimore here. And I think the point I want to start it off with, there's 16 personnel that are with the Chargers right now that were with the
16,
Ravens?
16, yeah.
Mhm.
So essentially, everyone can say, hey, I got all good things. I got all love for Baltimore. If you face your former team,
Yeah.
it means something. And I think Gus Edwards even said it initially. He's like, hey, I love them, but I kind of want to go hit them in the mouth early and often. He wants to make sure, hey, you did let me go, and I'm going to try to prove to you why you shouldn't have let me go. Now, I think a lot of Ravens fans, Zach, the guy that they did replace Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins with, Derrick Henry is no slouch. Arguably, he's the best running back in the game. Saquon Barkley's having something to say about that. Holy shirts and pants.
Yeah, I think it's one of those situations where it's kind of a win-win for both situations, for Gus Edwards, for J.K. Dobbins, and for the Ravens. Because, yeah, if you're J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards, yeah, you are thinking a little bit. You're like, hey, I think J.K. is a little different with the injuries and stuff. But for Gus Edwards, it's a guy who was extremely productive last year, was a guy that you felt like, hey, I've built my career here. Maybe I want to come back. They move on. He goes to L.A. out to Greg Roman. The Ravens move on with Derrick Henry. And I honestly, it's hard for me to sit here and think that either is feeling bad about how it turned out. I think Gus and J.K. are extremely happy in L.A. I think the Ravens are extremely happy with Derrick Henry. So one of those rare scenarios where, there's a lot of switching around in a running back room and you feel like all sides won, but that's how it feels with this.
Yeah. I mean, look, it was the best thing for really all the parties involved when you're talking about the running back department. brutal for JK. And we're actually going to have a video later of talking about what Nick Moore even talked about with JK Dobbins, the resiliency, the perseverance, but a guy that's dealt with a lot of injuries to start his career in the NFL, and the Ravens had to move on accordingly. And Gus Edwards, similarly dealt with his injuries, did his best with his opportunities in Baltimore. When you have a chance to add a one-of-one back in Derrick Henry, and it really has transformed this Ravens offense, you take it. Now, on the flip side here for the Chargers, it looks like they're starting to pick up some momentum here. Greg Roman and this offense is even passing the ball better. They're not just this run first, they can't throw the ball at all system, even though they still want to establish with the run game. But Justin Herbert's done a fantastic job. The Chargers defense, minus last game, was averaging 13 points a game up until
13-1 or something.
And now it obviously rose after that Bengals Chargers fiasco.
Yeah.
But they're a tough team. This is going to be a great test overall. I think the one thing I am very curious about is, can Baltimore continue to adapt on the defensive side? I think that's my first storyline. We're going to have multiple storylines going into this game. First storyline is, can the Ravens defense continue to build off of what happened in Pittsburgh? Look, you throw away. I wish I throw it away. What happened last game? But one thing you want to take away was that defense looked damn good for Baltimore overall. And specifically, they made some changes to their roster. And Kyle Hamilton was even in different positions about where he was on the field. Obviously, the news, Eddie Jackson, waived by the Ravens, is one of those corresponding moves. Tre'Davious White had some great moments. Yeah. But I think the one thing we are going to watch tonight, guys, who probably isn't playing, Zach, it's Roquan Smith for the Baltimore Ravens. And
it's a big deal.
And Roquan,
massive deal.
And Roquan for that game against Baltimore, he looked pretty good until the injury.
Yeah, it was. It kind of sucks that the injury came last week, because last week was one of those games where it felt like Roquan Smith was looking like Roquan Smith, the Roquan Smith that the Ravens gave up a second-round pick for, the Roquan Smith that they paid all this money to be the leader of their defense. That guy finally returned and looked like he was flying around last week like the Roquan everyone knows. He gets the hamstring injury. And this is really one of those weeks where if you were to go through the schedule at the beginning of the year and go, what weeks do you really feel like you can't afford to be without Roquan Smith? This might be number one.
Yeah.
This might be number one with a Greg Roman style offense that they're going to know where the Ravens' weaknesses are, and they're going to attack the middle of the field now. You're going to see guys like Malik Harrison have to step up. Chris Board have to step up. Obviously, we all know Trenton Simpson, the second-round pick from last year. He's been that guy next to Roquan all year. You talked about Kyle Hamilton. This has got to be a Kyle Hamilton game. If the Ravens are going to win this, if the defense is going to take that next step, unfortunately, Kyle, a lot of it's on you. And it's not to say that it's because he messes up or whatever. He's just the guy that has the talent to make Roquan less impactful of this game. If he's up there stopping the run, being able to limit what goes on in the box, that's how Kyle Hamilton can impact this game and really try to minimize the impact of no Roquan.
Yeah, I wonder, is this a game where Trenton Simpson can really step up?
Yeah.
Not saying that he would be a replacement for Roquan, because there is no replacement for Roquan, but can he step up and do good enough to stuff the run? I think they can. Look, I'm not taking away anything from what J.K. Dobbins has done. He's going to be the comeback player of the year. I do feel that in my heart of hearts. But he's not an elite running back. He's not. I wouldn't even say he's in the top 5 running backs right now. But so my thing is that while you're correct in saying that this would be a game of all games for Roquan to miss, this would be one that I would say he can't. But I think that there's certainly something to be said for the way that the rest of that run defense has been operating. And I think Trenton Simpson is up for the task.
Oh, I think, and he's going to have to be up to the task. And look, the Ravens, you already are going to have a more motivated Chargers team because of the reasons. And yeah, J.K. Dobbins, it's a great story. I love what he's doing.
Yeah.
But he's going to have that much more oomph tonight. Gus Edwards going to have that much more oomph tonight. And a team, an offensive line that wants to be physical. They want to be. This is what the Harbaugh brothers do. What they want to do is be physical at the line, right? Yeah. Control the trenches. Jim Harbaugh, they tried to change the culture there. And they're going to start it with the running game. But to go back to the defensive side, because we just mentioned Kyle Hamilton so much, John Gruden talked about how important Kyle Hamilton is, how great of a player Kyle Hamilton is. So let's play that little clip from John Gruden talking about the dynamic all-pro safety for the Ravens.
Player I think on the Raven defense is number 14, Kyle Hamilton. Keep an eye on Hamilton. He'll play safety in their base defense. When they want to go to their big nickel, he'll be the nickel back around the line of scrimmage. And then he'll play linebacker in their dime package. He will knock your ass off. His playing style is impressive. He competes his butt off. I love him. He's got 81 tackles, 2 sacks. He can blitz up the gut. He can blitz off the edge. He can get off blocks and knock your ass down. I love him.
Knock your ass down. And look, Kyle Hamilton is that Swiss Army knife for the Baltimore Ravens. And look, I do understand in the comments here, that Kyle's nursing an ankle injury. Yeah, he's playing hurt. There's no doubt about it.
So is everyone these days.
But again, no one's 100% at this time of the year, but it also just more of an emphasis of what Kyle brings to the team. Fully healthy or not, Kyle Hamilton goes out there and does what he is capable of for this Ravens team. He's an X factor. The defense didn't have such a huge jump. It wasn't a coincidence. Yeah, the Ravens had great pieces last year, right? You had Clowney on the outside. Van Noy joined. Obviously, Roquan's there. Mike McDonald in the scheme. Everything's working together. But you know who also made that all come together was that piece. And it was Kyle Hamilton. You could ask him to do anything, cover, blitz, be at the line of scrimmage, even be able to have a tough assignment. Or now, hey, we need you to play in the deep part of the field now and be a safety. He does it.
Yeah.
And they need that versatility, and they're going to need that leadership on the defensive side of the ball tonight. Most likely, that's the reports. Unlikely, Roquan Smith's going to play. We're going to see in a little bit as that's actually done.
I think the biggest, and we'll talk about the impact of Roquan and Kyle having to step up. It's not even play-wise. As Kieran brings up here, it's extremely important. Kyle's getting the green dot tonight. Kyle's going to be the guy now who, without Roquan, he's calling the plays. He's making sure guys are in position. He is the one. He is now the quarterback of that defense tonight. So it's not just as simple as, hey, Kyle Hamilton, the play has to step up. Kyle Hamilton, the leader, has got to step up. Kyle Hamilton, the guy that we've been hearing throughout training camp, throughout the early part of the season, hey, Kyle Hamilton's taking a step as a leader. This guy's becoming a vocal leader for this team. Guys like Kyle Hamilton, guys like Marlon Humphrey, guys like Matabike, have to really step up today in the leadership role to say, hey, Roquan's not there to make sure everyone's in position. We, as the centerpieces of this defense, have to make sure, hey, things are going well. We're in the positions, because what has killed this team all year, it's been the miscommunications on defense. It's been not being in the right positions. So we'll see. Who knows? Maybe this is something where Kyle Hamilton gets the green dot. We've seen it many times, and the defense looks different, and suddenly they don't go back. Is it so many different things to watch, but definitely the guy that on defense, focal point of this game is Kyle Hamilton.
And Kyle, we'll find out here, Brad, in just a moment what's going to happen with this Baltimore Ravens team tonight. Is we are about 3.5 hours till kickoff here. Baltimore, LA, out in LA. Should be a great game, and we'll take a quick minute here. Pocket Watch, appreciate you. Thank you. You say go Ravens. We'll be watching on a second screen while my Tigers are in a top 5 matchup in the Maui Classic. War damn Ravens. And then I just saw on a different note, because also, guys, it is Monday. It is Thanksgiving week.
Yep.
So we're not
poll in the making.
There's a poll in the making. But we're not going to have the show Thursday. I know that might be a shock. We're not going to have the show Thursday. It's Thanksgiving. But we are going to have some Thanksgiving polls. And Brooks, you're already getting things going with, is it a more important question? Is it stuffing or dressing? I'll let you guys sit on that. I'll let that marinate for a little bit. It's stuffing. But
it's stuffing.
It's stuffing. Like dressing, is it a salad dress? We're putting a dressing on our salad?
No, that's stuffing.
It's stuffing.
It's stuffing.
Question.
Dressing is what you put on your salad.
Yeah.
So I agree.
Yeah.
We're on agreement. Look at us.
Look at that.
Look at us right here.
How about that?
Look at us.
Yeah.
Look at us. Hey, right there. This is nice.
Whoop, whoop.
All righty. Let's continue on here in some action. We will detail a lot of these games upcoming, or at least what's happening tonight here. We are going to have call-ins for you all to express yourself. We don't have Nick Moore to hold up the lines today.
We don't.
The audacity of that, man. It would have been a hell of a week to have Nick.
Oh
though.
my
Oh my
god,
god, so much drama in special teams,
bro! The
throughout
Turpin
year.
run, like the Turpin run, I'm dying to have Nick break that down.
Yeah.
Dying.
I will also say, I think it's a cheat code in just college football or NFL. I think fumbling the ball as a returner guarantees you 20 extra yards. How many times this season have watching college, watching NFL, has the returner dropped it and it just sent panic to not only his own team, to everyone on the field, and people just start running places and they find a lane. Happened to Turpin yesterday. Suddenly everyone gets really close together, hits one spin move and took out half the team somehow with it.
Yeah, you know, one of the other ones
To
you're
the
bringing
house.
up was one of the greatest punt returns or returns that we've seen.
Yeah.
Deshaun Jackson fumbled that ball and they
Yeah.
ended up winning the game. It was the
Yeah.
final play of the game against the
Throws
Giants.
people off. It throws people off.
It throws people
Maybe
off.
start fumbling on purpose. I'm gonna
So
say.
starts tonight. But that move, man, Brad, that was foot in the ground. That was something straight out of the video game.
Yeah.
B button or circle button, whatever your console game of choice is.
Mhm.
You know, that
Bro,
was
the way that he just plants his foot, whoop whoop,
Yeah, it was.
and then takes off. That was just the craziest spin of it. I mean, we've seen some spins. We saw Saquon Barkley spin backwards and jump over some guy.
yes, we have.
That's still, I think, probably one of the craziest spins I've seen all season.
Well, while we're talking about this play, we need to have Bill Belichick kind of break this down, right? And Pat McAfee had Bill Belichick on today to talk about that specific play. The crazy thing, it wasn't the only wild part of that game, but let's play that clip for you guys and we'll react on the other side.
Would ever kick the ball to Turpin. I don't think that's a good idea. That's, to me,
He's
this
proven.
is the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing that happened to Cleveland in the opener. You know, they lob it down the middle of the field to him a couple times on punts, and you know, he rips one back on him. You know, here he muffs it, and so that might have, you know, slowed the coverage down a little bit. But I mean, you just got really nobody playing off a block, nobody really covering a kick. I mean, it's just terrible. Why you would let this guy touch the ball? You know, look, they hand it to him, that's one thing, but you know, to kick it to him and let him return it, I mean, you're eventually going to pay the price. This guy's just too good.
Special teams all over that game yesterday between the Cowboys and the Commanders. Block kicks, missed kicks, big return. I mean,
it ever.
yes, very massive for both sides. And if you're going to be great, you're going to have to be very sound.
So right there, even watching the replay, Brad,
Unbelievable.
One like
I could not believe
it's
that.
hurting my knee, but the quickness with it,
Yeah.
the change of direction was incredible. And also the fact, I guess, in these new kickoffs, we've seen a couple kickoffs return, but we really haven't seen the big plays. And in that game, in that circumstance, we saw it. That was the beauty of the kickoffs, by the way, that we're trying to get back into the game while trying to make it safer. But Brad Turpin, I mean, Bill's saying, hey, don't kick it to that dude. That guy's a problem. And it was. Now, that wasn't the only problem in the game, special teams wise, for the Commanders.
Yeah. I mean, this was not great.
Oh, man. See, that's where I was going next. What the hell happened in Landover, Maryland yesterday?
So the context here is, ladies and gents, fourth quarter, 21 seconds left on the clock there. All they have to do is kick an extra point. Now, I will say that I know what this feels like. Do you remember
The New Orleans Saints?
There's the New Orleans Saints?
Mm-hmm.
I literally had some guy behind me because it was the last game that Drew Brees had ever played in Baltimore. And some guy behind me was just in our ear talking about how we're watching greatness with Drew Brees and blah, blah, blah. So then we come back and seemingly tie the game. And then Justin Tucker misses his first extra point since high school to end the game. It was absolutely brutal. And then here you have it. It's going on again in Maryland, but not Baltimore, Maryland. And you just see this take place where an extra point is missed. The game is over. That's how the game ends. I mean, there's not a more heartbreaking way to lose a game than a missed extra point like that.
Well, you know what was even crazier was that it wasn't just the end of the game. They did an onside kick.
Yes.
And then Dallas scored. And then I was thinking, oh my, something's gonna happen. It's gonna be another Hail Mary down in Washington.
Right.
It wasn't. But those that say special teams don't matter in the
third of the
NFL.
game.
Don't know ball.
Oh my goodness, man. And Nick, this is why we need Nick on here. Those plays. And I feel bad, Zach, for Austin Seibert. And he was emotional after the game. He had been so consistent for them. He was coming off an injury, missed an extra point earlier in the game. And you know what I loved? He faced the music. He didn't blame the low snap or the hold. It was a bad snap.
Mm-hmm.
But he said, I got to make that. I got to knock that home. And the reality was he didn't. The Commanders, after also another blown play by the Commanders. Again, what the hell happened in Landover? 86-yard touchdown, which I'm not complaining, Zach. Fantasy, we're not complaining.
No. Terry McLaurin, that was very nice for the fantasy.
But,
yeah,
however, no timeouts left. 86-yard touchdown.
It literally, like, as I told you guys before this, I was watching and I was like, oh my gosh, Terry, like, big play. I was like, okay, get out of bounds. And it was one of those things you're like, get out of bounds. Let's see what they can do next. And then you're like, does anyone on Dallas have any interest in tackling this guy?
Nope.
And then he's just running and you're like, is anyone even chasing after this guy? And then it hits you. You're like, holy crap, Terry McLaurin's about to score. And then before you can even process, like, I'm still processing at this point, like, Terry is scoring. I'm still trying to process the fact that Turpin just housed the kick, and yet we're still about to be tied and go to overtime. You're trying to process all that, and then you're like, oh, crap, this isn't going to overtime. He just missed that kick. And then you're trying to process that missed extra point, and you're like, okay, now they have to get this onside kick. And then you're like, why is Dallas taking the onside kick back for a touchdown? Then you're like, wait a second, them scoring a touchdown there keeps this game alive. And it just felt like one of those games where from like 4 minutes left in the game on, you were playing catch up with emotions. You were like, what is going on right now?
It is. And then Kieran, you made a great point right here. Then Eckler got hurt on a concussion on the next kickoff.
Mm-hmm.
It was just one thing after another, both astonishing and both unfortunate, right? In this case for Eckler, a guy that already had a concussion earlier in the year. So there's an injury. This game could have been over. The Cowboys had been getting boat raced at home. Now the Commanders, with a feel good of being 7-2, they might win the division. They lose by 1 against the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
Then they lose on the road to the Eagles, where they imploded in the fourth quarter, but Saquon and the Eagles just put them away.
Yeah.
And then this game, all of a sudden, you're kind of right there, and then you're kind of not. And now the Commanders, now it's opening up the door. People aren't going to like this. Bo Nix is coming for Rookie of the Year.
All right, but what did we talk about last show when we talked about it? It wasn't just going to be Bo Nix had to perform. It was going to be that the Commanders had to have these losses. Jaden Daniels was I'm still going to say Jaden Daniels is still in the driver's seat. You know, it's getting closer, but Jaden Daniels is in the driver's seat. But man, is Bo Nix coming? Bo Nix is playing some really good. It's insane watching Bo Nix, because the Bo Nix that's on my television right now that I'm watching is not the Bo Nix that we saw the first 3-4 weeks of the season. And it's incredible to see that.
I love it.
We talk about this crazy idea that's starting to enter the NFL of quarterback development.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, maybe if you don't just expect them to be Tom Brady from snap number 1 and you work with them, you can see something like this. And if that's the jump he's taken from week 1 to week 12, another offseason in Sean Payton's system, more development, Bo Nix is gone from someone that people kind of laughed at when the Broncos took him so high to now someone that you're looking at and you're going, the Broncos might have found their guy.
Well, and I don't know why it's surprising anybody. We've talked about it almost ad nauseum on this channel now, really, since going back to last year. The experience matters, and that's what Bo Nix has. The maturity matters. That's also what he has. And you know, I'll wrap up the Cowboys-Commanders game with just this. There was a lot of division games that were played this week, and it just goes to show that it doesn't matter how well you think you're doing throughout the season. You're only as good as those division games, because we looked at the Tennessee-Houston game. Houston lost. Yeah. CJ Stroud did not look good. He's looked better against other teams. Another division game was the Minnesota-Chicago game, right? Where Chicago hasn't been playing well all year. Then they go and make it a close game against Minnesota. Then,
another crazy ending.
Yeah.
That one was
back to back.
I was just going to say real fast, the Commanders Cowboys game and the Chicago Vikings game, if you were watching it on Red Zone, I was so overstimulated. I was like sitting there and I'm like, Terry's housing it right now. And then I'm like, did the Bears just recover that onside kick? And I'm like, what is going on? And then
and then the Chiefs beat the Panthers by 3 points.
you knew it was going to happen.
You knew it was, to the point. You knew
The
Kansas
worst
City was
team
gonna
in the
find
league.
Well, actually, I'd make a case that Bryce Young might be back.
He's looking good.
It might be
Bryce.
back. I would make the argument now that the Giants might be the worst team. We'll get to the Giants in a minute. But to close out the argument here, Bo Nix is definitely in the running. And to Joey's point, I had it pulled up. If they had beaten the Chiefs in Kansas City and that field goal was not blocked, Bo Nix and the Broncos would be 8-4.
Yeah.
8-4.
Yeah.
With a big win on the road.
That defense is so good too.
So the Denver Broncos are making some noise, but the divisional games, I'm glad you brought it up here, Brad. They are a different breed.
Yep.
You looked at it this weekend, and how about case in point Thursday night, Jameis riding in on the horse, ready to play in the storm. That man, you want to talk about the Jameis experience? You got every bit of that. And for Ravens fans, I know you're sitting there going, all right, I like Jameis, but if I got to feel the pain of Jameis making mistakes, he better make a game winner. And I felt when he overthrew that in the red zone that the Steelers are going to win that game. I was like, it's over, but he gets a chance again, and Jameis drives the team down the field, and the Browns gift the Ravens an opportunity here to gain a game on Pittsburgh and to get right back in this race to win the AFC North. And hell, Brad, we were having a segment last show about can the Ravens catch the Steelers, because in our mind, we're like, oh, well, they should win that game in Cleveland. But as Admiral Akbar says, it's a trap. And it was a trap for Pittsburgh.
I just want to point out, I said on the show Thursday, I was like, Cleveland pulls this out. I didn't know what it was. I do want to point out just real fast, the Thursday was a perfect example that it is malpractice that Cleveland's new stadium has a dome. That was perfect football. That was incredible.
Well, and so kind of going back Thursday when we had this conversation, I had made mention of like, I don't think that this means that the Ravens can't win the division because, and we talked about it. How many games do the Steelers still have to play within the division? And it was all of them up before the Ravens game last week. So I just think that we're going to see the real Steelers show up here over the next 3 to 4 weeks, and it's going to get real competitive, and we're going to see things really kind of shake out. But the Ravens are still in great shape to win the division. I really do believe that, as long as they win this game tonight.
They got to win the next 2 games are really telling sides.
Yes.
Ravens, Chargers, that's the first game. You got to check that off the list. Got to win tonight. Then you come home and you play the Eagles, who right now, dark horse-wise, might be the team to beat in the NFC. I know what the Lions are doing, and that's the crazy thing. And I'm still saying the Lions are up top because of what they're doing.
Oh, without question.
But if you are not watching what that Eagles defense is starting to do, and that Saquon Barkley
just taking over games.
We thought about Derrick Henry, and he is an ultimate closer. I don't know what Saquon Barkley is right now, because that guy has a different level in the fourth quarter, third quarter.
Yeah.
He had 2 runs in the second half that absolutely took the soul out of the Rams.
Yeah.
And that defense was suffocating. The Rams got a talented team right now when you think about Puka, Cooper, Matt Stafford, Kyron Williams, and they struggled to score. So for Baltimore, though, we'll talk about the Eagles in the future. But for right now, it's about the Chargers. It's about the Ravens.
Right now, it's actually about a recent poll.
Then it's right now about our recent poll, Brad. So what do we got here?
I'm going to throw a couple of them out here. So this first poll of the show is a good one, I think. It is not Thanksgiving without family fights, football, Macy's Day Parade, or the Westminster Dog Show. I felt like the Westminster Dog Show was a dark horse or underdog.
You got to throw it in there.
You got to throw it. It's an every Thanksgiving thing. So far, 20%, kind of an alarming rate, say that family fights is that it's not Thanksgiving without family fights. 54% say football. Macy's Day Parade also is tied with family fights for 20%. And then the Westminster Dog Show's only got 6.
I gotta go football because I'm going right in the Turkey Bowl, Little Calvert Hall.
There you go.
That's right. So I'm going football, not just NFL football, but the real.
Are the
real
Dons
football.
going to win this year?
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
They got a good squad.
They do?
I've gone out and scouted few times, and by a few times I watched a singular game, they whooped ass, and I've decided that they're going to win. I have also done the like very minimal research of I just looked up the difference in like when Calvert Hall played teams and when Loyola played teams, and I was like, you know what, I like our odds this year.
You know what? I was thinking about this. Well, first off, go Hounds above all. Go Hounds.
Ugh.
So what, yeah, what is your obviously Zach?
Roll Dons.
Zach put football. What was yours, Rip?
I still, because of my love for football, I think growing up, though, I didn't appreciate the Macy's Day Parade. Like my sister and my mom would get up for it each time. And then I go, why are you getting up for this? Like, what the hell? There's these giant inflatable things. But, I do like waking up, and that's the tradition. I do like seeing it. I do love the fact that they have the singers come on, but none of them are singing live because you can't during the Macy's Day Parade. I didn't know that the first few years watching. It's all taped.
Really?
Yeah, they're not singing live.
No. You didn't know that, though?
When I was a kid, when I was young,
like
fun fact.
When did
just
you
like
realize
just
that?
I mean, 2 years ago. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know when I was younger. Just like, I really appreciate what Santa Claus does, continuing to come down from the North Pole every year.
That's good cover.
Right?
I appreciate that. Good,
I will say I've never watched the Macy's Day Parade.
What?
Whoa.
I'm at the Turkey Bowl every day. I'm never.
Oh my
ever.
God.
So your whole life, even growing up before you went to be a Don.
No, my family. I've been to every Turkey Bowl since I was born.
What the hell?
Yeah, and then not just like go to the Turkey Bowl. Like my parents, when I was like even like 5, 6, like growing up, even when I was in a stroller, my parents would be out at Cross Street Market pre-gaming at 7:30 in the morning for this thing. So this has never been
even
this is I refuse to get this slander on the show. We have no Calvert Hall guys on the show for a reason. We have a lot of MIAA in
There's
here.
been multiple Calvert Hall guys on the show before.
Yeah.
But even a Brit has watched Macy's Day.
I know.
What are you doing?
What is wrong with you?
Football.
I'll tell you what, though, this year, it is a lot more exciting for football when they add 3 games. One thing, though, when we're talking about midday naps, right after you get Thanksgiving meals.
Well, when do you guys eat?
Oh, my goodness. Well, I usually eat, I'd say, mid to late afternoon, maybe at 4, maybe 5, depending on what's happening here. But I'll tell you what, man. There is nothing like stuffing your face with all the food. I'm a guy, I go around, I get the platter. And they say, maybe take a little bit. No, I put everything on my plate for Thanksgiving. I don't go back for seconds. I want everything on my plate, and I finish it, or I'm so full and I die trying. So, but what I love is that sensation after. You're like, oh, let me relax. But then there's apple pie, and then you're like, holy hell, here we go again. But you know what's also going to help? We're talking about football. There's some great games at the early window and the end window. And then there's that game in the middle in Dallas where it's Tommy DeVito, which we're pumped about that, versus Cooper Rush.
Yeah.
And also Cooper Rush, shout out also Cooper Rush. He came into the Iron Rooster when they opened, Brad.
Really?
So the Iron Rooster in College Park last year was just opening and the Cowboys were in town. And so Kyle got to meet him. This year, same thing. He signed an Iron Rooster shirt. And Kyle said, I'm sorry if this is the reason why the Commanders lost. Maybe it was. But I thought that was cool. So I'm rooting for Cooper Rush. He seems like a really great guy. His family seems great.
Yeah.
But that game might be where the nap takes place.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Because then the Packers play the Dolphins at night. I think the Lions-Bears game will be an entertaining one. So I'm with you. Football, I think it will. I think that
it is a division game.
It's a division game, so that's what it's going to be.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think we're going to see what's going to happen there.
You putting gravy on everything?
Yeah.
Is there anything that it doesn't go on?
I know we're talking football here, and we're going to get back into our conversations, but at the same time, I am a sucker for making a little volcano of mashed potatoes, and I'm pouring the gravy in there every single time, not hesitating. It's like I look forward to it every year.
Yeah, for sure.
So let us know with you guys. I'm seeing with these conversations, we're going to have a lot more Thanksgiving themed conversations. Maybe best football moment we have on Thanksgiving would be a good one too, that we can talk about as a group. We'll go through the archives here. maybe people can think about the one Ravens one that they had here for Thanksgiving.
I also would like to just put in the comments if you have a weird Thanksgiving tradition that's not traditional.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
yes.
Give me a Thanksgiving tradition that's not traditional. Maybe we'll have some people call in and give us that if they want.
Oh, that'd be great.
That's what I want for today. Put it in the comments. A non-traditional tradition for Thanksgiving.
Yep. Well, and you know what? I see Alan here. The only good parade is when the Ravens win the Super Bowl. Well, hey, you know what? We love it. We love it, and hopefully that happens soon. And guess what? We love all of you guys. So if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. We do this live every Monday and Thursday and on game days. So stop traffic. The Ravens are playing on Monday. When they play on Sunday, we're live beforehand. But today we extended our show later to be able to pregame a little bit about the Ravens. We're going to cover around the rest of the NFL. And if you guys also love baseball, we got a lot of baseball lovers. Wednesday, join us for our hot stove time. We're going to make it into the hot stove happy hour after Thanksgiving, where that will be a show completely dedicated to the MLB moves. And one being today, the Angels keep spending, which is ironic because they didn't do that as much when they had They're trying. So we'll save all that. And obviously the Orioles made some coaching decisions, have some thoughts on it. But again, we're going to get into all of that. So join us Wednesday for our hot stove. But today it's about football and what is upcoming here. So you know what is upcoming here? We have someone that's still alive. I'm really curious about his thoughts on his food. I don't know how I feel.
I don't know if I want to know, honestly.
Yeah. Kevin, let's bring Kevin Oyster Shucker in here. There he is.
There he is.
Kevin, the choices for Thanksgiving. Brad, what was the poll? It's
not Thanksgiving without family fights, football, Macy's Day Parade, or the Westminster Dog Show.
I'm going to go Macy's Day Parade.
Okay.
That was one I remember vividly.
Well, it happens every year, so.
Yes. Well, I vividly wait because with my schedule now, it's a little more difficult for me to get up for it and watch. So back when I was a little bit younger, my family would wake up and we would watch it. And my favorite was the floating hot air balloons. And there's always drama with those because one collapses every year. It feels like or there's some crazy thing.
Windy as shit. Yeah, something.
Yeah. So that's the one that's what I remember vividly.
Kevin's got a normal one.
He's got a normal one. I'm afraid about when we ask him for things that he likes on the side for Thanksgiving.
Look, if you want a non-traditional one, what can you repeat the question, Brad, so I can do a full lead in?
All I said was that a non-traditional tradition for Thanksgiving. That's all I wanted.
Thanksgiving is not Thanksgiving without Monopoly.
Oh, speaking of family fights, you're just asking to start one with them.
That is a family fight.
Holy shit.
In the making. Great game, by the way.
Oh, Kevin's totally the banker, by the way.
Oh, no. I go and some people want, because, sometimes in Monopoly, sometimes at least you bend the rules and you're like, okay, let's continue the game a little bit. You can have an extra 500. No, I say, give me all the money. I don't care. One time I had $3 of Monopoly and I ended up winning the game. That's how.
I'm proud of you, Kev.
Thank you.
I'm afraid
what you did.
Uno. Jessica says Uno. That's another one that.
Oh yeah.
We want to talk about starting fights.
Yeah.
That draw 4 card starts coming out.
Phase 10.
Yeah.
Another one.
We'll start talking about relationships and stuff.
A lot of relationships.
All right. There's another Thanksgiving poll out there. It's very controversial. There's a lot of back and forth on this already. So make sure you're participating in that. We'll roll this back. But let's talk about Ravens Chargers.
Yeah, let's get in there. So we had a little Thanksgiving. We're going through some moments here. That was a good little break. It's a good little break.
Yeah.
Now we're back to the action because there's a lot on the line here for Ravens fans tonight. Kev, as we know, the Ravens, they need this victory. The Chargers coming off a big victory last week. And for the Chargers, don't look now. They're kind of separating themselves here out there in not only the AFC, but they're also separating themselves to have a chance at the division. The Chiefs haven't looked the same that they've had over the weeks. They survived against the Panthers. They fell to the Bills. So it's a big game for them. And by the way, it's the Harbaugh Bowl. But let's go back then, Brad. Let's play the clip of Bill Belichick and Pat McAfee talking about the Ravens Chargers tonight, as it's a little bit of a preview. So we'll play that for you guys, and we're going to react on the other side.
Matchups that you like this evening, like for instance, we heard Roquan Smith going to be out, so we would assume with the way the Chargers like to run the ball at J.K. Dobbins, is that something that you'll be looking for? Is that a massive missing piece for the Ravens, or what's a matchup we should think about?
Well, I think as always, Pat, we know it comes down to points, and the Ravens are capable of scoring a lot. And the Chargers are one of the best red area defenses in the league. They do a really good job down there. They don't blitz a lot, but they keep people out of the end zone, and the scoring against them has been good. The Ravens have given up a lot of points. They've given up a lot of big plays, but that definitely quieted down last week. So we'll see if they can continue to improve on their defense and keep the points down. So again, I think in the end it'll be whether the Chargers offense control the ball and score enough points to win, or whether the Chargers defense can keep Baltimore from, look, Baltimore's going to get the ball down there. It's a question of how many points they come out with. I'd say, honestly, I always feel like Baltimore's biggest opponent is Baltimore. I mean, they're capable of playing great in all three phases, but some things have gone wrong for them over the course of the year, whether it's the place kicker, their defense, some untimely turnovers on offense. They're the most penalized team in the league, which, a lot of that is their fault. If they can clean those things up, I think they can be really, really good. But, we're 2/3 of the way through the season, and some of those problems still persist for the Ravens. So I think that's the big challenge for them. But looking forward to tonight. It should be a great matchup.
Yeah, you're talking about that red zone defense for the Chargers, and then you talk about the place kicker, like one of the greatest of all time. Look for a big bounce back game for.
All right.
So right there, I think we've heard a lot about saying, and I like to give credit to other teams, right? So I like to say, even though when we say the Ravens beat the Ravens, I do want to point out that it becomes a trend here. When they play Pittsburgh, the trend has been the Ravens play more undisciplined, maybe a little sloppy, but it's happened consistently against them. For Baltimore in general, though, the thing is, I think the biggest takeaway so far when they've struggled this year, the penalties have been glaring. I think
92.
That to me
for
has
over
been
what did I say last week? Was it 750 yards, something like that?
It's up there.
Yeah.
It's up there. So the biggest part then, and Kev, this is kind of at least the storyline going into it. Okay. Ravens, what you saw last week defensively, we're taking a positive. The defense looked sound, but you don't allow a field goal or don't allow a touchdown, all field goals, and you lose the game. Can you be more disciplined now against the Chargers team that I think is going to be more dangerous offensively, quarterback and weapons that they have? And for the Ravens, are you able to not give up extra opportunities? Because if they do give the Chargers extra chances, I feel like Jim Harbaugh and Justin Herbert, Greg Roman, that staff, they're going to cash in.
Yeah.
And that's an offense that's going to punish you a lot more than Pittsburgh's offense would in that game, especially during the rematch we're going to see a couple weeks from now. That Pittsburgh offense is terrible. Chargers offense with Justin Herbert playing the way he's playing, JK doing his thing, and a bunch of other guys in the passing game stepping up, like Ladd McConkey and Will Dissly, who's their tight end one this year. It's going to be really important because one of the things that the Ravens continue to do is you guys mentioned the penalties, and you can honestly flip this both ways. It's something John Harbaugh talked about after the Steelers game was the fact they got themselves in way too many second and long situations on offense where they'd have a good 8-yard run and then a penalty would happen. They'd be back to 1st and 15, 1st and 20. What you can't allow this Chargers team to do on offense is get into second and favorable situations. Don't let them get into a 2nd and 4 or a 2nd and 2. Put them back in a 2nd and 10, 2nd and 11, get us run stop on 1st down. But this is going to tell me a lot about this defense. But, of course, without Roquan Smith being in there, I know inactives officially haven't come out yet, but writing's essentially on the wall with him. He's not going to play. It's going to be up to guys like Trenton Simpson, Malik Harrison, Kristen Welch, Chris Board, and then Kyle Hamilton being the leader of that defense, the sole leader of that defense on the field, especially, there's the whole no NFL team's fan base loves the green dot conversation more than Baltimore Ravens fans. And so with Kyle Hamilton, him, I think, being the guy who's going to wear that dot tonight, the communication has to be on point. So that we saw an improvement in this defense. I mean, it was the best game by far they played all season against Pittsburgh, but it's going to be a much tougher offense in in Los Angeles than we saw against Pittsburgh, but they've gone out there and they've dominated some of these games like a Buffalo, like a Denver. So hopefully we get one of those performances tonight.
My thing is, like, even though they were playing against a poor offense, it's still really hard to not allow a touchdown for an entire game.
Oh, yeah.
In the NFL. And so I think that there was something to be encouraged by, especially with some of the personnel changes. And we also heard that Eddie Jackson's no longer with the team. I think that there was some bad apples in that squad. I don't know.
Well, even if it's
going
not
on, but
bad,
like,
I would not even say if it's bad apples or whatever, the fit wasn't there.
that's what I'm saying.
And so I think so to take it was that the Ravens so far this season have
There's
been
some
trying.
crazy shit going on out
There is. There's a lot going on
guys.
outside.
Kevin, can you hear the sirens?
I can. Yeah.
Everybody can.
They're
yeah.
coming for you.
I
Kevin.
can't hide those.
They're coming for you. But in all seriousness, the problem with it is you hope everything works out. But with every move that you make, it's not going to. The Eddie Jackson one, unfortunately, hasn't. But the formula for the Ravens' success on defense hasn't been consistent, and we are now in week 12 of the NFL season. So the biggest thing to watch tonight, you're right, to your point, it looked like the defense made some changes.
Yeah.
And I think the more impressive part for me, fellas, was that even when the Ravens, they were sloppy and turnover prone in that game against Pittsburgh, a little unfortunate, but the defense, despite the turnovers, gave the team a chance.
Yeah.
But tonight, I have a hard time believing a Jim Harbaugh runs team. Justin Herbert, very talented quarterback.
Yep.
And a Chargers team right now, if we're looking at total offense, they are still going to want to run the football. They're still in more of the top tier. I think if I have it counted correctly here, they're right at 10th or 11th in rushing. They're going to want to run the football, which Baltimore is very good against, but we know it's can you stop the passing game? And that's the one thing, Kev, if it's fair to say, Vlad McConkey, talented player, young. Quentin Johnson showed flashes, but this by no means is a daunting receiving core when you just have gone against George Pickens and Jamar Chase and who else is on this list? You went against Devontae Adams earlier in the season. Like, there is no true alpha.
It's been a really tough schedule for the Ravens this season.
Well, and guess what? Stop traffic. They got A.J. Brown next week and maybe a Devontae Smith.
Right.
And then obviously Saquon Barkley. Or
You know who
Saquon's.
I'm excited about tonight? Tre'Davious White. Let's build off a good game.
How about that?
Yeah, let's just keep
lock them down.
So let's just, it doesn't need to be perfect. No, he obviously gave up, I think it was 2 catches for 9 yards against the Steelers, but Tre'Davious White, that would be a huge upgrade to this defense if they can get him playing like a healthy Tre'Davious White does. I mean, this is why Baltimore got him, because the potential's there. It's whether or not he can be healthy and kind of get together. But man, would I love to see his confidence continue to grow here, because if that guy gets healthy and confident, him and Marlowe, especially, give Marlowe credit. He's balling this year.
He is balling this year. He's also shown a ton of leadership as the season has gone on, which I love seeing. One of the things that I will say, so we talked about that Chargers offense. We haven't talked much about their defense yet. I think that this is going to be the ultimate matchup that nobody's really talking about. Lamar Jackson's averaging 430 yards a game by himself. And then you have Derrick Henry, who's leading the league with 1,200 yards this season in rushing and 13 touchdowns. But then mash them up with another really tough defense. Obviously, the Ravens faced a tough defense last week, but under Jim Harbaugh, the Chargers are allowing just 14.5 points a game. The Ravens are scoring 30 points a game. This is going to be interesting to see how this all shakes out.
Yeah.
Can an offense that has just been absolutely dominant all but maybe one game this season pick it back up in LA and just run all over that Chargers defense? I don't know if they can, but it's going to be very interesting to see.
Well, and Kev, that's part of the familiarity. So Pittsburgh, why they play Baltimore well, in my opinion, it's the familiarity in division. You know, we had a clip there, and maybe if I can pull that up real quickly, I'll see if I can get that up quick. Because Pat Ricard felt like it's going to feel like a division game, because who knows you better than your own brother, right? So Jim Harbaugh and this Ravens staff that has 16 personnel members, Kev, they know Baltimore well. And that's the one thing when they look at, if you get to see this Ravens team more and more, you're going to have a better chance than the NFC, as we've seen. The only one that's taking him down is Danny Dimes, which maybe he'll be the backup for the Ravens. I don't know.
If you can't beat him, join him.
And you can't beat him, join him.
Well, he did beat him. Now he's going to join him.
Yeah.
So, but Kev, I think it's a good point that Brad brought up here. This Chargers team has some great pieces. They are dynamic, but above all, they are the number one scoring defense in the NFL as we head into this game at 8:15.
Yeah, 145 total points allowed through 11 weeks, which is crazy good number for that defense. So this is the thing with this Chargers unit. They're not a great run defense. They're bottom 10 in the league in run defense this season. Their pass defense actually has been pretty decent this season. So to me, I think there's all this conversation about Derrick Henry's usage and this, that, and the other. I think you got to establish this earlier, at least try. And I need to see some Keaton Mitchell carries tonight. I need it.
Get him on the outside.
What was that? What?
Get him on the outside.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Here we go. Keep tossing it to him, Kevin.
It's been a couple.
That was.
Yep, get to the outside.
As a toss.
Yeah, we're tossing it to the outside.
Yeah, wait, no,
he's running in motion. He's running in motion. Toss it to him.
Good Lord.
There we go.
There you go. Hey, hey, back to me. Toss. Toss.
There we go.
No, wait.
Toss. Kevin, catch it back.
There we go.
Kevin, you don't hold a football like this.
And I need an actual
high and tight, Kevin. High and tight.
Yeah. Real fast, just because you spark this memory talking about how it's going to feel like a division game, Charger, because of the familiarity and all of that.
And 16 personnel that used to be Ravens players on that squad too. Like that's
Did you guys see
crazy.
Puka Nakua's comments that he had no idea that they were in the NFC West?
That was tough.
He had no idea what division they were in, any of that.
What?
And you know what's crazy
that
is
can't be real.
So apparently Teddy Bruschi was then talking about, and he said, because he spent his entire career in the AFC East, and he was like, he knew his division opponents, he knew who his guys were. He was like, before he became a broadcaster, one thing he had to do was memorize the divisions, because he's like, I knew no NFC divisions. He's like, I just knew they were an NFC team. He's like, okay, that's a team that we don't have to worry about in the playoffs unless it's a Super Bowl. But he had no idea, and that. As Sean McVay says, if Puka doesn't know the division, but he plays well against them, tell him everyone's in the division. What's it matter? He seems to play well against the division anyway, so that's all that matters.
If they're not on our team, they're an enemy, and they're a divisional enemy.
That's right.
Everything's the same.
Because he literally says, he's like, if someone wants to tell him, he's like, if someone wants to tell him that the Eagles are in our division, he's like, and if that will get him to play better, do it. So maybe we have to have Lamar just think that, and we just tell him every team's in the NFC.
We just got to tell him he's playing the NFC or he's playing the Bengals each game.
Hey, you're playing the NFC, Lamar. He's like,
right. I think Lamar, the Bengals actually just moved to the NFC, and you're playing them every week.
Boom. The combination there.
Yeah.
That's what we need. And before we continue on with these Ravens conversations here, by the way, what?
Brad has another poll.
Oh,
well, before we get to the poll here, I wanted to thank our sponsors.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Adams Jeep of Maryland here. Adams Jeep of Maryland, as we take a ride on our Adams Jeep. There it is. Boom, baby. Adams Jeep of Maryland, located up in Aberdeen, right down from the Ironbird Stadium there. If you are in the market for a new car, go check out Adams Jeep of Aberdeen, or even a used car, and you use the phrase Rocco Sucks, you'll get $1,000 in gas money. But stop traffic. They have opened up Adams Extreme Motorsports, which if you're in the line of having a customized car or anything involving your car, Adams Jeep doesn't just service Jeeps. They service every car. You got a Toyota, you got a Chevy, you got a Honda. It don't matter. They will help you out and fit to your needs. And they got a great deal for tires right now. Tires are expensive. Believe me. You go up there, you get 4 tires. You get 3 tires. You get the 4th one for just a doll hair. And that's our friends up there at Adams Jeep of Maryland. Just tell them that the Ryan Ripken Show sent you. Tell Chuck and Matt we said hello. So let's dive back in. We got another poll up here, Brad.
Yep. Also very controversial.
Oh, no.
Canned cranberry sauce is disgusting. True or false?
True.
False.
Oh. Rip.
I never ate cranberry sauce growing up, so I would probably say think it's disgusting. True.
Well, 51% say true and 49 say false.
So, okay,
Wow,
ask-
that's close.
Can I ask a follow-up question as I'm just genuinely curious? Where else where you get cranberry sauce nowadays?
Well, I like the jellied cranberry sauce. You
But
gotta
does
get the
that come
jellied.
in a can?
Yeah, that's
So
You're talking about the can, the ocean spray can. You know what I'm talking about? Like
yeah. But I'm
Okay.
looking at it right now. There's also there's the jellied one. This
Yes.
one. Yeah. I like that.
that the jelly one is not the can one.
All right, so then
It's
no,
like-
I prefer the jellied.
so he's
version. I
not
don't-
he doesn't like it in the can.
Yeah, I like
Basically,
that version.
it comes out of the can, and it looks like a can of Jello. It looks like the can.
I
yeah,
never- I
no, that's
never-
what
I
I'm saying.
didn't
Yeah, I
have
like
that.
that.
I didn't have that much growing up. I just wasn't a fan of cranberry at the time. I thought it tasted like ass. It's changed.
So,
Cranberry,
what are you-
especially
how
on
you
the-
feeling about it now?
I like cranberry sauce, but it's if it never was on the table or in the options, I wouldn't be hurt if it wasn't there. Like it doesn't impact me. I'm okay.
Yeah.
Kevin?
True.
Kevin is not a fan of canned strawberry or
No.
cranberry.
I'm actually. I wonder what for the three of you. What is the worst Thanksgiving food?
That's the cranberry sauce. The canned cranberry sauce to me that's why I put it up there. It's the worst. Absolute worst item on the menu.
I wouldn't say worst, but that's one that I could live without. That is one of those for me.
the cranberry on like a leftovers sandwich is just elite. That's just
Okay.
I can't go against my jellied canned cranberries.
So it's a timeout.
But-
Go ahead.
No. So what is the one ingredient
worst.
or one item that you were like, I don't need this on Thanksgiving?
I don't know if it's like green beans and stuff. Like I'm not you give me turkey, gravy, stuffing, mashed potatoes, and cranberry. Like
I see
that's
Tom
me.
saying
Like that's,
yams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is up with that?
I
Yeah,
like
I would-
yams.
Yeah. I'm not a big yams guy.
I would take the
I
yams
get
off.
that.
You take the yams off?
I would take the yams off.
They're not
before
making the
cranberry.
yams right over there at your house?
I'm
No
telling you.
marshmallows, no nothing. Is that what the
No,
problem
like
is?
if we're doing like the full marshmallow and everything.
Yeah.
that's different, but-
That's what I'm talking about. That's what you have on Thanksgiving.
Can we later in this poll, can we talk about our top three sides? We had Nick Moore talk about his
Yes.
top three. We're gonna have that
That's
later
coming.
on.
That's coming. Yeah.
Okay, good. We should. Also, by the way, I just need to get this off my chest. Johnny, Rip, LOL, Rips. That says nothing. You like plain hot dog. Timeout.
Is that on your Thanksgiving menu, Ryan? Is that on your Thanksgiving menu?
Yes, thank you. Let's get some.
What the hell are you clapping for over there?
Because he's right.
So what did I say that was wrong right there?
I don't even know.
and
But
by
I'm
the
just
way-
No, he was just saying that your opinion is not valid
Yeah.
because you like yourself.
I think this was.
You know what?
I think this was about the cranberry.
Okay, good. But
In
you know
which I
what?
have to stick up for
You
cranberry.
know what? You know what? Just save it. And also
Gotta
for all
stick
you hot dog enthusiasts out there,
shit.
you don't like a dog if you can't enjoy it plain. I'm sorry. You say, "Oh, I gotta lather that thing up." You're eating the wrong thing. You're eating the wrong thing. Which is also a good time to mention our sponsor, Stuggies, by the way. They do more than just dogs, by the way. And we're gonna have a dog of the week moving forward. And guys, they opened up a ghost kitchen, Pat and Stuggs, which they partnered with La Frida Meats. They're in M&T Bank Stadium. They're at Camden Yards, but they are giving away tomahawks. We're trying to get that set up here. And we got to have Nick Moore on here to get that really getting going the right way. So we'll talk to you guys about that soon. But our friend Stuggies there will have our dog of the week. But you guys check them out on Uber Eats. They are available now in the Baltimore, Maryland region. So, yeah, hot dogs, though.
We gotta bring this up. What?
What the hell is that?
They call leftovers from a proper dinner bubble and squeak.
Do you kiss
Look,
your mother with that mouth?
The Brits
Bubble
have
and-
some weird
bubble and
sayings. I don't know.
squeak.
Yeah, that doesn't
Well,
make any sense.
Nick's really from the South. You know, he's not
Yeah.
British. He's
I-
really from the South.
His American accent was the greatest.
I don't even know
Brad.
what Southern accent that was, but
Whatever
Wasn't
one
American.
when he says, he nailed it. I'm just gonna give it to him.
Oh, sugar. Let's continue on with our programming. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Shall we?
Let's do it.
as long as we all can agree that canned cranberry sauce is disgusting.
No, I gotta stick up for it. The
I-
jellied, I'm sticking up for the jellied. If you want it unjellied, that's on you, you know.
Okay.
But I'm sticking up for the jellied one.
Well, let's continue on here. I'm getting a little bit hot in here. And you know what? It's getting hot out there because we're getting closer to kickoff. That means Ravens, Chargers going to get spicy. I do miss Hot in Here by Ray Lewis coming out of the
I was
stadium.
just talking about this.
We need more of that.
Some of my friends.
Friends.
When they bring the guys out of the tunnel, it's not the same. It like there is no fire anymore. Even like after Ray Lewis and Ed Reed retired, even when Suggs came out, 50 Cent started playing. The Flames, all that shit. There's none of that with this team. Like somebody's got to step up and like actually make it a spectacle when they're coming out of that tunnel.
But they also got to be that guy.
I know. I'm just saying somebody's got to step up and be the guy.
But they also have to be that good, like that guy.
It's got to be. It's got to be Lamar, but Lamar will never do it.
No, he'll just wave the flag.
Yeah, he waves the towel. But didn't the NFL ban pyrotechnics after like Tennessee almost set their field on fire a couple of years ago?
Maybe.
Did they?
I thought it was either that they put in restriction. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up because now I'm curious. NFL.
Well, look, they banned gladiator masks, but T-Sizzle did it anyway.
Okay, in 2019, it says they banned it, but I don't know if this was lifted or not.
Yeah, it was a brief ban because
I remember this. Tennessee almost set their field on fire using pyrotechnics too.
The more you know.
2019. Yeah, this picture is.
Yeah, I just saw. We just clicked on the same article.
Yeah, so I don't know if this was lifted or not.
I do have to say though, this makes British Ravens accent that much better that it was inspired by Duck Dynasty.
Love that.
That's just as American as it gets.
Mississippi.
Duck Dynasty. What a run that show had.
What a run.
Yeah, they're still syndicating.
Good for them. It's good for them. You know, it's also a good run. He has had a lot of good runs. How about Derrick Henry? This Ravens offense. Woo! He has been on fire. And honestly, Derrick Henry might be one of his best seasons of his career.
Yeah.
Future Hall of Famer. And really, the question is going to be, are we going to see a lot of more 10,000-yard rushers moving forward in the NFL just for how the landscape of where the running back position is going? But we did want to talk a little bit about the strength of at least with Baltimore. And Bill Belichick did touch on how this offense had looked with Derrick Henry here. So let's talk about that, and let's play that clip from the Pat McAfee show, Brad, reacting to it on the other side.
To kind of win throughout the course of the season?
Well, I think it's always best offensively when you have good balance. And look, Derrick Henry's a great back. He's having a great year. So is Barkley. But when you look at the rest of the offense, Lamar is a huge problem. Hurts is a problem. The Eagles have really good receivers. I mean, I know Smith didn't play last night, but their receivers are good. The tight end's good. It's the same thing with the Ravens. Yes, Henry's a big problem. Lamar Jackson is probably even a bigger problem. Andrews is good. They have a lot of speed at receiver with, Flowers and Bateman and those guys. So the balance makes it hard to defend. And if you give it all up on one play on a long pass or a 30, 40-yard pass, that's very discouraging. So you never want to be just too light on that where you just gang up on the running game and then, give up big plays. On the other hand, if you're playing a little more balanced, then, guys like Henry and Jacobs and Barkley and those guys can do a lot of damage. So I think it's really benefited them to be on a well-balanced offense. And that's really what happened when we got Corey Dillon. Corey Dillon, they ganged up on him at Cincinnati. He was about all they had at that time, and it was tough sledding. He ran for 1,600 yards with us, but when you can open up the game and the passing game and have more balance there, it just makes it better for everybody. And when those guys get out in space like Henry and Barkley do, they have the speed and the home run ability to have some 70, 80, 60-yard runs, which is a huge weapon when you can get those kind of big plays out of the running game. You usually don't count on an 80-yard run. You count on 10, 15, here and there when you block things well. But, those guys have the home run ball, and that makes them very, very.
So the big word that was thrown out there was balance.
Yeah.
Balanced offense. In the past, people have really been on the Ravens for having a more balanced offense. Yeah, you got to pass more, right? But now over the last 2 years, it's gone back to, well, what's still your backbone of your team? It's the run game. The Ravens got arguably the best run game in the game. They arguably have the best duo in that backfield with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry that we've ever seen. So dynamic. But a conversation that comes up here is when the Ravens have lost games, is that balance doesn't seem as at the forefront. So for Baltimore in this last case, in the games that they've lost, Derrick Henry has had less than 15 carries. That game against Pittsburgh, 13 carries, 65 yards, and a touchdown, and the one fumble, where it was Derrick's first fumble in the last 1 million carries, it feels like.
First
I think
fumble
it was
lost.
In 500 carries, something
Yeah,
like
it was
that.
like 560 was his first fumble loss.
The audacity of that man. But point being here, that's going to be an emphasis here tonight. It feels like for Baltimore, when they can do what they want to run the ball and feed King Henry. And it's also a telling sign, Kev, if they can't get to that number for Derrick, Ravens are going to be in trouble. And I think that is something that we need to watch as we move into this game against the Chargers, who are going to be looking to emphasize and stopping King Henry in the backfield.
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of getting it going early. Obviously, when you are playing from behind, you're going to run the ball less, and that's just part of your game flow and game plan. But, part of the reason we're having this conversation is because it's felt like far too often something has gone wrong or the Ravens have become panicked and they abandon it too early. It makes total sense. If you're trying to come from behind and, you're down 10 points, 14 points, yeah, you're going to abandon the run. You're going to make that less a part of your game plan. But for example, that Pittsburgh game, Derrick Henry does fumble. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, well, now we're not really going to go back to that well as much. When in reality, they should have been continuing to try to establish it. And I think they just dug themselves. It's like the AFC Championship. I mean, Lamar talked about it after the Pittsburgh game. It's just like they dig themselves deeper into that hole. And then by the time you're thinking, oh, maybe it'd be a good idea to run the ball here, it's too late and you're already stuck in that way, or you already have to go play a different game plan. So to me, I think that with the Chargers struggling against the run, with you having, I'm going to call him arrested Derrick Henry because he really didn't get that much run against the Steelers. I think that you have the ability to go out there and just ground and pound it with Derrick Henry. I know that in passing situations, the Ravens trust Justice Hill in his pass blocking ability. He's really good at pass protection, and that's why you see him on the field more than Derrick in 2-minute drills when they're coming from behind. But you brought Derrick Henry in not to be a 30-carry guy like John Harbaugh made very clear, but I think that 17 to 22 carry sweet spot for him every game is realistic based off of, a game might not go the exact way you planned for. Maybe it goes a better way and you can run the clock out with him. But I think that, he's one of the stars on this offense. You have to utilize him. And even if it's not directly using him, because his presence on the field opens up so much for this offense. And I think that whenever he's not out there, they lose an element of what makes them so good.
It's the element of surprise when you have a guy like Derrick Henry in the backfield. Now, we do want to see Keaton Mitchell continue to get run as the change of pace. What Justice Hill can do in the passing game, like you discussed. And I think the biggest emphasis, people can look at the end of the game, well, why didn't Derrick Henry get the ball in the fourth quarter? If you guys actually go back and look at it, it was a weird fourth quarter.
Very weird.
Because of how the game was dictated. But I think the bigger point is continued opportunities early for Derrick Henry. Continue to get him in rhythm so then you're not in that situation later in the game where you feel like, oh, well, we got to be in this catch-up mode and we can't use him. I still would love to see Derrick Henry in the game, even when they are in a little bit more of catch-up mode, because it just brings a dynamic to the game where, hey, this dude can still run you over. If he gets a lane, he can get going. But that is something that we got to watch here. But for Baltimore, recipe for success: establish the run, get comfortable, get ahead. And if you can get ahead by being balanced early, then, hey, let Derrick Henry be a finisher. Because the one thing, not to compare teams, guys, but the Eagles, as far as they have a running quarterback with Jalen Hurts, a guy that can produce with his legs, and Saquon Barkley, correct me if I'm wrong, last night, Jalen Hurts threw 22 times in that game, I believe. It wasn't very much.
No, it was not long.
I'm trying to pull it up right here. Jalen Hurts threw 22 times last night, and the Eagles were losing at the end of the first quarter. Closed with a strong second quarter. 22 attempts for Jalen Hurts. Saquon Barkley had 26 carries for 255 yards. Obviously, we all saw what he did in the second half. But the Eagles stayed committed throughout the game to running the football, and I think that's going to be an emphasis tonight, especially against the Chargers team that kind of I don't know. They know what's going to happen here, but just because you know what they want to stop, I think just don't go away from your strength. Regardless of how good the Ravens are going to be pass catching the ball, your strength is 22-8. And the offensive line seems to gravitate around when they can impose their will. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. Yeah. I also think the biggest part of that is not only is it imposing their will and kind of, Kevin, how you talked about, even though Justice Hill has been very good on these pass downs and pass protection and pass pro, all of that, he's been great this year. The presence of Derrick Henry just simply being on the field changes everything. And it doesn't even start with just him being on the field. It goes into running the ball, and then it builds up the play action. And we have seen this year, when is the Ravens offense its most dominant? It's when they're running the ball and using play action off it. We've seen Lamar Jackson take strides this year in the play action, and especially when Derrick Henry's going, even if it's not Derrick Henry having 10 rushes for 100 yards, even if it is just the 8 rushes for 30, the threat of Derrick Henry, if you are showing your commitment to running it with Derrick Henry, no matter how he's playing, that commitment, they have to come up and they have to bite on these play actions, even if just for a split second. But that split second's the difference between Zay or Bateman getting open and then suddenly you're running down the field.
Yeah, I mean, look, it all goes hand in hand. Everything and every team that goes on to win a Super Bowl is able to run the ball when they need to. The Chiefs, despite their struggles, what have they leaned on? If you got one of the best quarterbacks, or if not, we're saying Lamar and Josh Allen are having 2 great years, right? Patrick Mahomes been up and down, but what have they relied on with still one of the best guys in the game? The run game. Kareem Hunt was getting the ball a ton. Pacheco's now on his way back. Why? The run game helps just set up so many things. It also helps control the game. It will be interesting to see for Baltimore. It's a massive game tonight. And honestly, how close are bookmakers and Vegas looking at it? Well, it's pretty close. And when we take a closer dive into those numbers, why don't we take a second here to acknowledge our sponsor, Hollywood Casino up at Charlestown Races in West Virginia. Good. Really good. And our sponsor up there, Hollywood Casino, located at Charlestown Races in West Virginia, about an hour and 15 from Baltimore, an hour from Owings Mills. We've done some live shows up there. But if you guys are looking for an experience, go check them out. And proud to announce that Hollywood Casino is now welcoming ESPN Bet to their sports book. So congratulations to them. We have so much more in place. And if you sign up with ESPN Bet, and you're able to put your deposit in, and then you're able to put in the code PENBUILDER, you get an extra $50 of Penn Play cash added to your account. It's that simple. So download the Penn Play Cash app, download ESPN Bet to get those. So thank you to our friends at Hollywood Casino up in West Virginia. Woo.
That's pretty good.
Good kids. But the lines tonight, fellas, Ravens are 2.5-point favorites at this moment as they get ready to take on the Chargers. Over and under is set at 50.5. So we'll get into some of those things. And I realize, guys, we're a little bit off. We'll just have to say our best bets off the top of our head when the moment comes. Mm-hmm. But we'll do that.
Well, so 50.5 points is a lot.
It's a lot of points.
Are we taking the over on that, boys?
I'm staying away from that because I've seen, part of me is like, oh, it's the Harbaugh brothers. This is going to be ground and pound defense, the whole 9. But then I also watched that Chargers-Cincinnati game last week where both defenses kind of in different spots of the game. Like Chargers defense suddenly, especially against Joe Burrow, playing out of his mind right now.
Yeah.
I'm weary of that because I want to say I looked at that earlier and I was like, there's no way this game goes over. But the way obviously the Ravens defense we've seen recently, and we saw last week what a good Bengals defense or offense did to the Chargers. It's a scary line. It's a scary line.
Well, and here's the thing. It's what do you believe? Do you believe in the Ravens defense that you saw against Pittsburgh?
Don't know about
not yet. Not ready to say yes.
And do you believe in that the Ravens offense will play a cleaner game and bounce back? So those are the questions you got to ask yourself here, guys. And we
I already answered it. I'm taking the over.
I am too.
Just talking to the rest of the people.
I'm taking
Brad
the-
and Kevin.
Well, people care about what I
Wowzers.
think. So
Okay,
I'm
we know they
I'm
care.
taking the
Heel
over.
over there. Goodness gracious.
I'm smashing the over. It's going to be a 60-point game. I think it's going to be exactly what Zach was alluding to. I think it's going to be exactly what the Bengals game was like.
Yeah.
Ton of points are going to be scored because both defenses have their weaknesses, and it plays directly into the offense on the other side of the ball. So I think Chargers are going to score a ton of points. I think the Ravens are going to score a ton of points. The defenses are going to be non-existent, in my opinion.
Kevin, do you want to add on to that real quickly? Before then, I think after we should open up the call-in lines
Ooh, okay.
for our listeners.
Yep.
So, Kevin, why are you saying taking the over of 50.5 tonight?
I think that, first of all, the Ravens are going to play a lot cleaner of a game, and shout out to Spencer Schultz for these stats here. But Carl Sheffers is the referee, the crew for this game, and they call the least amount of penalties
Yes.
in the NFL.
Whoa!
The least.
Here we go.
There we go, baby. We are so back.
The least. Now, the actual Spencer goes into more detail. They call a lot of DPI and defensive holding, but the offensive holdings, the false starts, that
How
is
many
not,
illegal formations? How
Yeah.
many illegal formations? Because that's all I care about.
I don't know the exact numbers, but apparently it's more defensive stuff than it is offensive stuff. So I think to me, that's huge because what did Bill Belichick say? What if we all said the Ravens' biggest opponent is themselves?
The Ravens.
And if they're not caught doing it, then they have a good shot to win
Well,
the
that
game.
scares
So-
me. You said the defensive side, they call out of holdings and pass interference.
Yeah, we
Did I
clap.
hear that correctly?
We clap now
Yeah.
until the just
Because
the
they're
horrendous-
going to go pass interference, Brandon Stevens, because he just didn't turn his head around.
Yeah.
Which
Well, that could be a realistic scenario.
how about
So,
roughing the passer calls? How are they with this?
don't even.
Hey, Lamar needs to get more. Oh, all right. See you later. See you later.
Zach's
Roughing
really
the passer is just don't get me started.
There's going to be one of those calls. There always
he's
is.
getting really riled up.
He
over
really
here.
is.
I
I'm
don't know what's
I'm
happening
ready.
here.
But the second reason is Spencer also talked about Lamar Jackson in Monday Night Football road games. 126 passer rating, which is first all time.
Oh,
15 passing touchdowns and 0 interceptions.
Damn.
And the Ravens are 5-1 in those games.
there's a big emphasis on the zero there.
What?
Zero.
Jackson 5? Do we hear a Jackson?
Well, speaking of,
he loves that. He loves LA.
I do want to give the third reason, and this is more symbolic than anything else.
Oh,
But do you know where we were 5 years ago today? Ryan, Brad, Zach. Does anybody know where we were 5 years
We
ago?
were in
today?
LA. The Rams
playing the
game.
Rams.
For the Rams game with
Hell
a
yeah.
Jackson 5. With
Yeah.
a Jackson 5.
And
So
Kevin, I'll correct you a little bit here. Where were we? 12, not 14.
yeah.
Where were we? What happened? 12.
Look,
There's a good one.
I'm trying to tweet out while just being beat down by this flu I got going on right here. But yes,
Not
12, not 14. I miscalculated it. 12 years ago today. Hey, diddle, Ray Rice up the middle against none other than the Los Angeles Chargers.
I mean,
Hey.
come on.
Hell yeah.
I had a 1
How
of
could you not
3.1
be wrong
fever. I had a 1 of 3.1 fever on Saturday. I need some slack on the tweets, guys. All right, I've been out of it for like I don't even know how I'm alive.
I was literally on my phone and I saw you posted 14 years ago and it was like 2 minutes in and I was like, should I text him? And I was like, no. It's like I'm gonna let the people let him know it was not
The people let me know and I corrected it. So we're all good.
flu game, little Kevin flu game.
You know what I was thinking right
Yeah.
there though for a second? Yeah, it's like screw it, Kevin flu game highlights.
Oh yeah,
We might-
all the mess ups on Twitter.
that's
It
what we
should
need
be-
right there.
Should be all the isms that he's on this damn show.
Boom, baby. It should be. Well, we're gonna have those. We're definitely
Between
having
him,
those.
between him and Nick.
They're up there.
Uh,
They're up there. But you know what, guys? We love the
Well-
characters. We love the authenticity. And we love each and every one of you. So if you are new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show, Monday and Thursday. We also do it when the Ravens are playing on game days and stop traffic. The Ravens are kicking off in almost 2 hours and 17 minutes as they get ready to play the Chargers out west Let us know where you're tuning in from. We do baseball talk as well, but we're saving that for Wednesday. So join us for our MLB Hot Stove Happy Hours as we get ready and move closer to hopefully some more fun news around baseball. There is news slowly but surely, but we will save that just for Wednesday. So join us then. Brad, I think you opened up the Collins lines because I can hear it. You know what I think about when I think of Collins, and maybe this is just because of me being a 2000s baby, I think about the song by P.D. Pablo, and they open up with the part, it's song's called Freak a League. And they open up with it, and it's like, we're going to go to the call request line, like caller number 1, and
I do.
Dominique, what's up, Dominique? That's kind of how I feel right now, and I want to play that song.
That's Chris Brown and T-Pain, Kiss Kiss, and they do the phone.
Yes,
the phone
you are right about.
Yes.
Wow, Kevin's right on that. That's good.
He is right about that.
Hey, I'm a cultured individual. I've never steered anybody wrong.
Well,
here.
like 2008.
Yeah, that was
and above.
Yeah.
But you know nothing about Mr. Ron Burgundy. Let's get into some call-ins, though. How can people call in, Brad?
They can call in by joining the channel. So if you become a channel member, hit the join button next to subscribe. We've already got a few people waiting in line for us to chat with about today's game and maybe some Turkey Day stuff as well.
Woo!
Look, it is going to be an incredible day for calls. So make sure you're hitting that join button next to subscribe. You can come join us on the show. We can talk about Ravens. We can talk about football. We talk about Turkey Day. Really, whatever you want. Just pay us. Help us pay the bills. Okay?
Well, so Brad will be a little bit more blunt with that. But honestly, what you see, hey, you know what? Pay us. In all honesty, though, if you guys have seen our recent shows, we've upgraded. And the reason why we're upgrading, everything goes back into making this production and studio better for all of you. And the more and more we continue to reach our goal, the more and more we're going to get content out to you guys, right? So that's our ultimate goal here. We want to continue to building up and scaling up, and we have a great community involved with us right now, and it's all thanks to you guys. So you really see where your money's going with it. It's back to here now. Camera's gone. Hey, now, we appreciate you guys, and we have so much more in store in 2025, especially for our Baltimore community. So thank you. Without further ado, let's get into the call-ins, and let's start with the more you know with Arkansas Joe. There he is.
Hey, Joe, how we doing?
Oh, my goodness. I don't think those mountains are blue, though, Joe. Joe.
But they were a few minutes.
Country bumpkin land.
Hey, Joe, you're freezing a little bit, so I'll take your word that those mountains were blue. Can you hear us?
All right, you ready? We got a fact for you.
Okay, here we go.
It is illegal to pronounce the state name wrong in Arkansas in committee and rotunda professional settings at the Capitol.
So
not doing
Arkansas. Is Arkansas not allowed?
Can't say Arkansas in court.
Joe, what happens if it's illegal? What are we talking about? They're taking you off?
Who was the one who said it wrong so many times that they were like, we got to make this a damn law? They're like, he can't keep getting away with
They
this.
saw that one Vine back in the day.
Yeah, Arkansas. Oh, but this is not Arkansas. I am confusion. Yeah, they probably saw that and they were like, no, not today.
Not today.
Unfortunately, I left the 2 paragraphs notes on the Red Bull truck, so you're just going to have to do with the fact today.
Yeah, that's okay.
All right.
Joe, so we don't know if you're just thrown right in jail or it's a fine. What is it? If I were to say,
I'm researching.
Okay. To be continued next week. I left the notes on. Okay.
That's fine. But we appreciate the more you know with Joe. What
but if
give
you
us
want,
yeah, go ahead.
If you want more, every day.
Woo. Hell yeah, Joe.
All right. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate you.
Hey, Joe. You're frozen.
Ravens 28-24.
28-24. The over's hidden.
Hammer the over. There we go.
Let's go.
Joe, rate real quick before we let you go. 1 to 10, Kevin's facial hair. 10 being the best, 1 being the woof.
I got a 3. We'll go 3.
Oh,
okay.
All right.
What? All he's got is a mustache and a neck beard.
But I'll give it for Kevin because the expectation with Kevin was on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Now, okay. If you're gonna ask Joe, you gotta ask everybody.
All right.
No.
If you want to be on the,
I think 3 is a good number because it's not terrible.
Yeah.
3 out of 5.
If that's
3 out
a
of
3,
5.
what's a 1?
I don't know. Give Kevin a little bit of respect or something. Got to
For
help.
what?
Okay,
Hey,
so Brad's giving you a 0.
Yeah.
Beard last year when he came in. He had a
What?
strong beard last year, so it's there.
He did for a minute, but yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, that was very early, and then I'm like, I'm not gonna shave till the Ravens lose, and then they lost, and I was like, well, that didn't work out very well. But that's my goal. That's my goal. I got my hair really short, so I don't have to. I'm gonna say I'm not gonna cut it till the Ravens lose in the playoffs. So hopefully that's a Super Bowl win, and so it's gonna get like not as poofy because I got it cut super short.
Oh.
Like shit after you cut your hair, though.
You called me out in every chat you could. I saw you.
Yes.
I saw you doing it too.
Hey, Joe, we appreciate you. We got to keep it going, but thank you for making our day by ruining Kevin's. Go Ravens, baby.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, Joe.
See you, Joe. The more you know with Joe. And by the way, I saw Jake the Man was asking how do you subscribe to the channel, like in the paid way. There should be next to the subscribe button, it should be the join button.
That's right.
That is correct. Spanish Armada, 1588. Kevin, what movie?
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, boy.
Nope. That Veronica Vaughn. Let's move on to our next caller here.
We got K-Mac in the house.
K-Mac.
Gentlemen, what
What we
it was. Kevin, I was trying to gauge on the rating for your facial hair how long it had been. So given the fact that it's been like a week, you got you have some room to play with it. I think you go down on the mustache, you let the rest of it go, you leave it for a little while, it'll balance out.
Yeah. Let the neck beard go by all means.
Yeah. Well, I regret to inform you that this is like 3 weeks of hard work for me. I can't grow facial hair.
Yeah. And see, anything below, I agree. The neck needs to go.
Yeah.
I think
All
this
right.
part
Okay.
will-
Yeah. So just okay. There we go. All right. All
Now,
right.
granted, there's some bias there, but
I hear you.
So wanted to. It's funny. I kind of bring in Joe on this one too. I thought about Joe the other day. I was in Ross. We were doing Christmas shopping. My better half was bringing me around, and I saw an Arkansas workout shirt, and I had a Woo Pig Sooie moment, and
Hey.
Yeah.
ended up while I was there picking up this absolute beauty. So that the very last Arizona Coyotes jersey, presumably that they will ever make since their move to Utah, and saw it. I was like, man, it's beautiful. I got to pick it up. Reminded me of a hill that I will absolutely die on. The Army Navy jerseys. I know you guys touched on this very briefly. The Service Academy jerseys for the Army Navy game.
Mhm.
Absolute heat every single year. This year is no exception. The Navy, the Jolly Roger for the Navy uniforms is absolutely beautiful this year.
Gorgeous.
That is why I feel like the Commanders got shafted because they had 19 months to come up with military-inspired uniforms after the Navy was announced and came out with like the uniforms. They're fine, but they're just fine. And I get Nike or Under Armour. But like you couldn't have consulted with somebody. Like if they come up with these amazing jersey schemes every year, how did we end up so empty with Washington? I don't know how that happened.
Well,
that's just Dennis Snyder. That's really
when they initially started, but
that's what like they just facilitated it, and then they ran out of time to really change it any other way. So like, I'm with you, K-Mac. They need. I think they're bringing back Redskins. I don't
think that's coming
the topic of conversation. It's getting hot. It's getting hot.
You think it's coming back?
With Washington higher up people.
What was that? What was that?
Higher ups. Those people. People that get paid a lot more money than me.
Well,
I
guess we'll
rumblings.
Find out if they.
But I'm with K-Mac. If that's not the route they go, like that's the ultimate swing and miss. It's not making it some kind of like you're gonna have the Commanders. That's a military themed and like. Nothing that actually shows that where's the mascot? Like, give me something.
It's a pig.
Right.
It is
no
pig.
goddamn sense.
Yeah, they're
really.
It's still the Hogs. Yeah.
Oh, call the Hogs, baby.
Yeah. Commanders.
Might as well be the Slobber Hogs.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
right.
dope.
No, might as well be. But hey, K-Mac, what do we then on a different note? What do we got for tonight? Like, is this game going to be high scoring? Is it gonna? Are you with Brad and Kevin on the over? Are we thinking, man, this Ravens defense is going to ball out and it's going to be a rout? What do we got?
I definitely take the over. It's
Whoa,
something
there we
about
go.
West Coast primetime games for the Ravens that they just show out. I think that you're going to see this be a little bit of what looks like a get-right game. Pay attention, though, to the issues that they've had in terms of like communication, the secondary stuff like that, stuff that reared its ugly head earlier in the season.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're gonna get right like 90% of the way tonight, and there's gonna be a lot of like, you can kind of take a deep breath and just everything's good, and then in about 2 weeks you're gonna see some of those issues start to crop up again because they're gonna do just enough to make it look like it's fixed, and then it's gonna crop right back up again. I think. I hope that that's not the case, but I have a feeling what's going to happen tonight is you're going to come away with warm and fuzzies, and then once those division games happen, all of a sudden it's going to be like, man, what happened? Like we looked so good a couple weeks ago.
I'm really curious with this tonight, and also talking about the biggest thing, and Kev, we've oyster shucker over there. It's communication is the key for this Ravens team overall. And actually the Chargers, watching some games or watching that last week's game for the Bengals, they had some blown assignments. I feel like Quentin Johnson's actually who's had a better season. They're building him up. A couple of his touchdowns were just off blown assignments because of how they set it up. They didn't know what to do. That is one thing of concern here is if the Chargers, if we can contain the Chargers on the cases there, it just feels like, again, the Ravens should be in a good position. But I guess we're going to find out how much Jim Harbaugh knows his brother and knows this offense. And I'm curious on the flip side, how much the Ravens are going to know Greg Roman's offense. I think it's just a great chess match in general. But so what's your final score prediction, K-Mac?
I'm going to go, I think in the write-up I did 31-13 because I think it'll be close for the first half. I think you'll see Baltimore pull away a little bit in the second half. I think part of how you see that is it's going to be similar to the Denver game where they're going to move the ball down the field and then they're going to get stonewalled in the red zone. Just because Herbert profiles very similarly to the way that Knicks does. Now, granted, Herbert's a little bit more of an experienced quarterback, but obviously, both of those guys out of the Oregon system where they play their best when they stand in the pocket and sling it. But, you saw that happen with Denver. They were able to get the ball downfield, and then they got into the red zone, and they just, they stonewalled them. So I think you'll probably see Baltimore pull away a little bit late in the game, but I think 31-13 is my final there.
31-13.
Love it. Let's go.
Whoa.
I hope so.
I hope so.
I love it.
Let's
hope
go.
so.
I'm telling you, it's Lamar Jackson on primetime. I would not be surprised. Do I think it's going to happen? No, but would I be surprised if the Ravens ran away with this? No, because
you can't have it both ways here.
that's what I
We're
don't.
going to use the B word. I didn't have to bring it up today.
Shut up,
I
We
Brad.
might have.
Shut up, Brad.
But I completely agree with K-Mac. If it's going to happen, it's going to be the classic Ravens. We go into halftime and it's like 14-6 or something, 10-6, and you're like, oh boy, here we go. It's going to be one of those games. And then the Ravens come out in the second half and you're like, oh, Lamar Jackson's just really good. And then I could definitely see it being one.
How many games have we had like that this year?
Gosh, probably
A lot.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Where the Ravens just blowing out a team and everyone can relax in the fourth quarter?
I didn't say it's going to be relaxing.
Okay.
I still
All right,
don't.
I
don't
know.
know.
There have been a few.
Even
In
if we're up
prime-
31-18 or
Hold on.
13, I won't relax.
Prime time?
Yeah, we had
Buffalo.
The Bills,
Bills,
That was
Bucks.
Bucks, right.
They've had three of those games, 3 or
Well, so
4.
that's what I'm saying. I
I
didn't
was
feel
never-
comfortable with any lead. That's why it's
I
weird.
was never worried about the Bucks game. I mean, was there a time during that entire game
Cowboys?
in Tampa where I was just like, oh, I'm a little nervous? No, I was not nervous.
I just get nervous
know what?
because I have PTSD from this damn team in the fourth quarter.
I understand that.
I had
for
no
sure.
nerves for the Bengals game. Zero.
Yeah.
Well, okay. That's
Okay.
that's
All
a
right.
division game. Division game.
All right. On that note, K-Mac, appreciate you, man. And we got some more call-ins, but that's an awesome jersey. I think you just got to bring on a new jersey, and we got to talk more jerseys each time you're on.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
I
But
don't
appreciate you.
we won't have any problem with the stock of the jerseys that are back there, so we can make
Hell yeah.
current things. So, boys, be safe. Enjoy your Thanksgiving.
Thanks.
You too,
K-Mac.
K-Mac.
Hey.
Hey, Brad, just because other people say blowout doesn't mean that you can say blowout.
I did not say it.
So don't say it.
You said it.
You just said it.
just
Ryan.
said
You
it.
just said it.
I always
Motherfucker.
Can we just time it? Hey,
Hey.
that's not nice to talk to Kevin that way. All right. We need to
You said it.
we automatic. I just want to get Admiral Akbar's thing on the soundboard of "It's a trap." I want it every single time.
Yeah, but nobody's saying that this game's a trap.
It's not saying it's a trap, but thinking it could be a blowout for me. Anytime there's a moment I can just use that sound, I want to. That's all I want. So let's continue on here, and hopefully I see some people. Just another quantum wave function. I want to say thank you because I can make Zach wait. Who cares about Zach? Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Zach, live from the Dominican Republic. How are we today?
Oh, we're good. We're just having some Presidente and
Oh.
gonna be watching some football tonight. So
Hell yeah.
And we're gonna need some more of this. We are dangerously low on our deep Eddie Orange.
yeah.
Hey Zach, we got the poll out for Thanksgiving. The best Thanksgiving side is mac and cheese, sweet potatoes with all the fixings, stuffing, green bean casserole. What's your favorite side for Thanksgiving?
I go with stuffing. That's by far my favorite. My grandma made it. We would go over and rip up the bread before it, so like the memories around it. I go with that one.
Yep,
I agree with stuffing. I agree.
Stuffing.
Yeah.
Stuffing, it's actually winning by a landslide in the poll. 57% of the votes that are coming in, there's 54 are saying stuffing.
Love it.
No love for green beans.
People in the
at
chat
all.
know ball.
I do love green beans. Stuffing for me personally was one of those as a kid, didn't like it. As I got older, teenage years to adult, obsessed. Like I can't not have it now.
I was
can't not have it.
I was the same way, and I realized that I was just the stuffing that was being made for me was just actually terrible.
Mhm.
And then I had really good stuffing, and now I'm like, holy shit, that's what people talk about.
And
I
you
understand.
like, never mind. I'm not going to go where I was going. Zach, you ever stuffed a turkey?
Yeah, we would help my grandma do it every year when I was growing up.
Good. It's a good experience.
Oh yeah. So I'm gonna rate Kevin's facial hair.
All right. Let's hear it. Okay. all right. Okay.
We're talking about the Ravens game right now, right?
This is the most entertaining part, apparently.
That's right.
I was laying here watching the show, and I'm like, holy crap, it's Ron Burgundy's mustache. And I can say that because when I was in college, we did No Shave November, and that's exactly what I looked like in college. So it gets better. It gets better.
I'm going to take it as a compliment.
Yeah, don't go to the extreme that I went in 2021. I had one probably down to here. It was disgusting.
The neck beard.
Were you playing well with it though?
Yes and no. I mean, I got called up, but I was pitching like shit. So it
depends on how you.
Yeah.
All right, I'll take it as a compliment. I think that's the best. So on a scale of 1 to 10, Zach, where would you rate it?
For a mature beard, it's a 1. For I just grew facial hair, and this is what I got. It's a 4.
Yeah.
Hey, that's higher than 3. Let's go.
I know the struggle. All right. I'm scouring every website just to try and get these games. Yesterday, I'm on like 7 different websites to try and watch NFL games. None of them are loading. And then, so I'm going to be struggling trying to watch this Ravens game because Sleeper doesn't.
I'm sure is impeccable.
Yeah. Wi-Fi actually isn't bad when the power doesn't go out.
Yeah, the power's on today for a little bit.
Yeah, here we are.
Text from Zach, and he'll be like, "Oh, hey, sounds good. We'll talk about stuff for the show." And he's like, "Yeah, well, my power's been off the last 8 hours, but when it comes back on, I'll check this out."
Half the time I just sit in the dark. So,
hey, you know what? I was thinking about this. Shout out to your brownies, man.
Yeah, thanks for that.
They did the Lord's work for the Ravens community this past week.
I just can't get over I get the whole snow effect, but like both teams are playing in it. What does that scream about did the Steelers just have a terrible offensive or defensive game? Because their offense, like even against the Ravens, 6 field goals, like that doesn't scream powerhouse for that.
I
So it's like,
don't think they have a great offense, but they keep getting away with it.
But here's the thing for me. First off, apparently we're learning, Brad, that Mike Tomlin, we got to check the facts. Does he not have a win on a Thursday night road game?
Thursday night road games, that's correct. He does not have a win on a Thursday night road game.
So there's that. But then I think the other reason why the Browns won, there's one specific reason, and this is it.
Said you don't become a Brown until you beat the Steelers. What will it take tonight?
The horse is prepared for battle, but victory comes from the Lord. So I'm dependent on the Lord.
Is that the message to the team?
Day by day, one play at a time. That's the message.
Weather conditions tonight. We're expecting winds up to 15 miles per hour in a wintry mix. How will that impact your ability to throw the ball?
I am so happy and grateful that the Lord has blessed me to play in some snow, to be in true football weather in Cleveland, Ohio at Huntington Bank Field today to give him the glory. It's a beautiful day.
Sure feels like you're playing in the AFC North.
It is. It's magical. Thank you.
So that is why they won. That is why they won.
This is what I imagine he does before the games. Here's his notebook of sayings. Any question he gets asked, this page is what he's reading. It doesn't have to do anything with the answer or the question.
No,
it's
always
just
off the
that.
top of his head. It's always off the top of his head.
They'll be like,
oh no, that's a page memorized 100%. There's no chance that he's just spitballing this stuff.
He is so funny. And the best is he doesn't try to be like, there are those athletes that try to be funny. They try to be like he is dead serious in those moments. I love every time he kept remembering that it was snowing, he just got a bigger smile. Like he was talking and he just looked like a kid walking. He's like, there's snow.
His face when he talked about the riding on the horses, he was dead, like, but very, very focused. And then his pure, genuine love for looking up of, we're playing in a snow game.
Yeah.
Like, and John, I'm with you. I honestly, that dude fires me up. I want to root for Jameis Winston. I don't want to root for him when they play the Ravens. But man, him jumping through the air to score, I can't wait to see that.
Bro, that play was insane.
I can't wait to see that Hard Knocks.
Yes.
What for the season, which comes out December 3rd, by the way,
Yeah.
right? So
Yep.
it's right around the corner. Are you kidding me? That is why the Browns won. But I did say, did Jameis give him a cookie for an interception? He always gives one or four.
Yeah.
And the Browns look like
that was the best Browns defensive game I think I've seen in a while. Their defense is always good, but this year they're struggling a little bit overall. But Myles Garrett came out hucking that game.
Stop comparing Myles Garrett
and the shit talking that came out of Miles. Yeah.
We need to stop. We need to stop. We need to stop.
He takes that personal.
Yeah. That was a little extra.
You know, it's like, hey, he's a great player. TJ Watt's a great player. I'm number one.
Yeah.
Like there was no mincing words with it. But the divisional games, it's a bitterness, especially between those teams. You throw in a snow game, and then you also throw in it's never a Steelers game nowadays if George Pickens isn't running out of the play, fighting somebody on top of it. On the last play, on the Hail Mary. Not that he would have made the play, but it happens here. But Zach, what do you think for our Ravens tonight? Over or under, and what's your prediction?
I hope it's an over because I got Dobbins and Henry going in fantasy, and high-scoring games are always fun. So I'm going to go with the over, but I got the Ravens winning, but I couldn't even give you a score. Like, it could be 48 points by them. I don't care. As long as everyone has fun.
I hope everyone has fun, and Derrick Henry and J.K. Dobbins have 4 touchdowns.
Yes, each.
Yes.
Hey, you could have my team in that league, dude, which is Brad, I've been running this league since 2017 in Aberdeen is when we started this league.
Yeah.
And your boy has been up there in the leaderboard for championships. Now, Jimmy Murphy, our other teammate, he's up there. He's a defending champ. But him and I have been up there. This is the worst team I've had in 7 years. And it is embarrassing. It pisses me off, but I'm happy for Zach. I'm happy he's having fun because for the first time in a while, I am not having fun in that league. But big money, we're alive. Different story. But Zach, I'll bother you later. We have some more call-ins. You look great. Thank you for naming Kevin's beard or rating it.
Yes.
And go Ravens. You go right off in the horses in the sunset in the Dominican. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Zach.
So we have some. We may have jumped the gun, Kevin. I'm sure we're about to talk about the same thing. With are you talking about the guy?
Oh no, I was gonna. No, I know what you're gonna say. So you say it. And I have something I want to say after.
We might jump the gun on Roquan. Roquan Smith just finished a 15-minute stretching workout where he was doing 40-yard dash sprints. He was talking with the head trainer. They've been huddled up, and Roquan just went inside. They're saying from reports that it was a pretty intense workout. There's video of him doing sprints. So the inactives are due at 6:45. They will come out. So that's something to look forward to. In 20 minutes-ish, we will now know. Everyone kind of assumed Roquan's out. Maybe there's a little bit of a chance that we see
pitch count
0.
Yeah.
Be very interesting. We do know Kev, right? And the Ravens talked about this kind of a committee approach at linebacker to try to help if Roquan's out, right? So that is something to monitor in this game. But obviously, an enforcer like Roquan, he's the heart of that defense. Obviously, it would be a good jolt. But how much we do see him, well, I guess we'll find out, right? 20 minutes.
Yeah.
20 minutes, we'll find out more. So
Yeah,
we'll find out here. And when I move, you move, Kev.
Just like that. And I will say that hamstring injuries can linger. So I personally, I mean, it's a big game for the Ravens. I probably would still hold him out because worst thing that can happen here is he plays and he re-injures it or makes it worse. And all of a sudden he's done till the playoffs or he's done till, whenever they need him. So my thing is I would probably say, hey, look, intense workout. Awesome. Let's see where you are. They need him against Philly next week. And Mr. Saquon's Barkley over there, like we've been talking about. Sure. I think that's what I personally would do. And then what I was going to say, because you guys were talking about fantasy, I'm on track to go 22-0 in fantasy this week.
No way.
Including in the league where I'm 0-11. Including in the league where I'm 0-11.
You're in 22?
Yeah,
yes,
remember?
We go over this like every 2 weeks.
Holy
22-0 in fantasy this week is what I'm projecting.
Oh, sugar. Well, hey, you're a good kid.
Let's pull in our next guest.
Let's pull in our next guest. So let's go
We had to skip one. We're going straight to Nick.
We're going straight over the pond. There he is. What time is it? Game time. Any dogs in the house, Nick?
We have 4.
Oh, let's go.
And maybe me, I don't know.
Hell
I'm not
barking. You will be. But Nick, how are we feeling today? Happy Monday. And happy
Monday.
Oh my goodness. Happy 12:26?
It's 11:26 if I can just about see the clock through this little gap that I've got here.
There it is. Good. I'm surprised you don't have the visor on, for tonight. Big game.
Yeah, they weren't very popular in Brit Ball, so I never had one. So yeah.
What's going on? Talk to us. What's on your mind?
You know what? The thing that I'm really looking for today, just a clean game. Win the game, but win it cleanly.
Yeah.
Please.
Thank you.
Please.
You know what? The score, again, it doesn't really matter, but all I want to see is no stupid penalties pulling us back. That's where games are win and lost.
Amen. Please. I tweeted about it, Nick. Just give me one singular game where I don't have to sit there and watch Derrick Henry break off a 15-yard run 3 times and all 3 get pulled back because of some ghost penalties or some illegal formation, anything. I'm tired of it. Clean game. That's all I ask for, a clean game.
I agree. And if Makari carries on, Voorhees is going to visit him in his dreams and let him know that he's there waiting.
Let's go. Give him the business.
There we go, baby.
Give him the business, Nick. So in this case, if you think it's a clean game, if that's what you're hoping for, if that's what you're envisioning right now, as it's 11:27 where you are, what are you predicting for the score tonight?
My score would probably be 36-14.
Oh, not going to say it.
36-14. Fire me up, Nick.
I'm not going to say the B word because that seems kind of legal. And I don't need to bring out the Duck Dynasty again.
Oh, you could.
Love it.
Yeah,
I'm not going to.
We won't complain.
Yeah, don't say the B word. Beard. Kevin's beard is beard.
Oh yes, I do need your ranking. I do need your ranking.
I don't know. I've got a habit of being able to grow a really big beard really quickly, so I would probably give you a -6.9.
Oh,
hey, nice.
hey, nice.
My worst and best ranking to date.
I posted a picture in the Discord of what my beard used to look like when I played ball in England.
Wait, it's in the Discord?
Yeah, it's in banter.
Oh, boy.
All right. I need
sugar. We're looking at it.
Now the anticipation is killing
my
me.
goodness, Zach, can you pull that puppy out?
I'll go grab it.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I look somewhat possessed back then.
Oh, well, I mean, still possessed, but that one.
You can almost tell I played O-line, right?
Hey, you fit it, man. Hit someone right in the mouth.
There it is. I love it.
Hey,
what?
Oh, let's go.
That makes that's a 10.
Yeah, that is full.
That's a
That's a hell of a beer, Nick.
Yeah,
Man.
love that.
That'd take me 5 years.
You wouldn't get that after 5 years.
No,
that was like 2 months.
Oh my god.
My hair literally went south for the winter and stayed there.
There you go.
Hey, you know what? I'm getting there myself here. Actually,
I appreciated that. None of them did. I appreciated it.
Age becomes of us all, unfortunately, Ryan.
It's okay. I think we're gonna hold on here. We're hoping. Don't grab your hair, Brad. Fuck off. Unbelievable. Brad's like, and just
I just had an itch.
You had an itch.
I just had an itch back.
Sick, man. Sorry for my language. No, I'm not sorry. Screw you, Brad. But beard, hey, Nick, that is a true beard, man, and I appreciate it. Do you have? I know it's for tendencies, but since we're talking about Thanksgiving, do you have any, insight rituals for yourself? We're talking about this on our end. What do you got over there?
Well, to be honest, we don't celebrate Thanksgiving over here in England.
So let me rephrase. What I want to say is your understanding on Thanksgiving on our end. Like, what's something
is
that
there a
sticks
British
out
version?
to you?
They play football on a Thursday. That's what.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we play football on a Thursday anyway. But
yeah, way to
3 football games on a Thursday.
Nice try. Well, 3 football games is always better than 1. But it's just a day of giving thanks. I mean, it's literally there. If we remove the historical aspects of the day, we're all getting together as a big family, and that, especially when times are tough as they are at the moment, that's what you can hang your hat on.
It is true. We like to joke around a lot, and we like to talk about what weird sides that people like to have, or what drives them crazy around the holidays. But truly, it is to take a moment to reflect on what you are thankful for, and what things are hard enough, right, in life in general. And I will say for us, because we haven't even done this yet, and we should do this before the show ends, but I'll start it off. Things that I'm thankful for is, people like you, Nick, that we get to experience and connect with, the community that we've built. And a year ago when we started this, and I keep bringing it up, we had no idea where this was going, and we still don't know where it's fully going. We have an idea of where we want it to go, but we've appreciated that we've been able to gravitate towards people like you that are caring, that enjoy the sports that we love, but also good people around the world. Hell, you are dedicated, and you are well over there staying up to wee hours to watch us, but we feel the love and we appreciate Nick. We're thankful for you, my friend. And I wish that I could see you. We're going to set this up one time. We're going to get you stateside. We're making it happen some way, somehow.
There you go.
Bring that baby over here. Get that stamp, and then go knock Kevin into the damn pillar back here of the brick, or whatever we're going to do. Oklahoma drill.
Yeah.
Oh, I still got
that probably wouldn't end well for either of us. I don't think.
I think you'd come out okay. I think,
I don't know. I think my ligament in my right shoulder might just hang on for about 30 seconds thereafter.
Okay, how about this? We'll put you guys in those Zorbing balls, like the big old.
I want to do this so badly.
And you guys run at each other, and see who stands.
That would be fun.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes.
Hell yeah. Well, Nick, appreciate you, man. Thank you. Go Ravens. I'm not going to say the B word, but you think the Ravens can win this convincingly. I hope you're right. I pray you're right. If not, then, we're going to have some words next time.
Have a good Thanksgiving, everybody.
Appreciate
Appreciate you, Nick.
All right. God, I love our community, man. I love it.
Yep.
We need Nick over here in the States.
He's a fan favorite.
Fan favorite, man. Friend of the show, friend of the program. We do have one more friend of the show, friend of the program.
Yes.
Oh, there he is. Oh, wait a minute. He's frozen.
What's up, boys?
Oh, no, there he is.
There he is. Gary,
I mean, I'm a
Williams,
little cold. I'm a little cold.
Are you where are Indiana cold?
No, we're in Ocean City right now.
Oh, that's right. Oh, then you're fine. Oh, suck it up.
I mean, it's a little chilly. Why'd you have to go get serious on me right before you brought me on?
Well, now we'll take it off.
That was Nick's fault.
Yeah, we blame Nick.
Yeah.
Also, if you're backstage, could tell a story right now with the whole light situation I went through back here. Brad probably knows.
I was very confused. I didn't see it.
That was like one of our biggest pause moments from a guest on the show.
Well, we're glad you got it figured out. I didn't get to see what was happening behind the scenes, Brooks, but appreciate you. So what's on your mind? How's Ocean City?
I mean, it's still here, still by the ocean, still a city by the ocean.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. What do we got? What do we got tonight? What do we got?
Honestly, well, I don't know what the hell's going to happen tonight, to be honest with you. Shit. Do we score 30 points again? That'd be nice.
Yeah.
I'm saying
that'd be fucking great.
Oh, it'd be great. It would be so great. It'd be
And also,
so awesome.
I'm really not sure how you guys are still on the air right now with Brad being so racist right now, dropping the R word.
I didn't. Was that racist?
No, it's not.
With the color of the skin.
Well, yeah.
Well, but but the crazy thing is, I'm curious if Washington's going to stay with their team name. I don't know what's going to happen moving forward.
There's legit conversation.
I just have a hard time
There
seeing
is.
the name back. I think that's the biggest part. I have a really hard time seeing them bring the name back.
Yeah.
But could it come back? I don't know. But if you're,
I mean, how do you can't do throwback jerseys anymore? You can't do none of that with that team if that's the case.
well, what if you change the Commanders and now the Commanders jerseys becomes a throwback? 20 years from now.
And now you just have a bunch of sloppy ass pigs as your
Yeah,
mascot.
that's my thing. Like the name, the mascot, none of it makes sense. None of it.
The football team was better.
The football team was better.
I agree. I mean, if you're going to do Commanders, I know you guys were talking about this earlier. You better make an ode to the military or something. They haven't done anything.
Right.
I mean, it's literally just Commanders, and then they put a line above it and below it, and it's like, cool. That's about it.
It's so dumb.
I wonder if it's because they don't want to become too military-esque of being in DC and the heart of it. That's the only thing I'm thinking.
But the Ironbirds, the Aberdeen Ironbirds,
but they're also not. They're not the team of DC, And the Ironbirds also was a plane, a cartoon plane. Now they're different. I don't know it's different now. They had the cartoon plane, and the plane had blue eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that guy that they named it after stunk. So, and I'm with Joe here. The the Washington Slobber Hogs would be nice.
The Hogs, man, the Slobber Hogs would be one of one.
Yeah,
but I'm with you. I think for the Commanders in general, it's a new day and age. We'll see what happens with them. It's still a reminder that as great of a season that they've had so far, they're going to be fighting for their playoff lives moving forward after dropping 3 in a row.
There's still
3 bad ones.
And Baltimore, in this case, we feel pretty confident they're going to the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
But today, the bigger thing is you can gain a game on Pittsburgh tonight. This game matters. You lose this game, guess what record you're tied with? You're tied with the Denver Broncos record-wise.
Yep.
You own the tiebreaker. But it gets a lot more murky for Baltimore if you drop this game out west. That's the biggest thing right there that we got to emphasize on. So I'm hoping – we're going to find out here soon, Brooks, if Roquan's going to play, and if so, if he's going to be limited. So I think there's a lot to unpack there. I'm excited. I'm nervous. Okay,
I'm excited.
A little nervous.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
I'm Ron Burgundy. Hey, Kevin, do you know?
Oh.
Yeah,
what's the one
Kevin,
fact about-
stuffing or dressing? How about that?
Stuffing.
Yeah.
Stuffing.
Yeah, you love stuffing, don't you?
Man.
Had to do
Wait,
it, dude.
no,
Had
wait,
to-
wait.
had
We
to
have
do
to.
it, man.
Wait. Brooks, rate. We're the last one. Rate the facial hair. What do you got for me?
I mean, I'll give you a 10 out of 10 because that's what mine looks like when I grow it out. Because I got very bad
Look
facial
at
hair.
that.
So
See, we're just connected like that. We're just connected like that.
Yeah.
My facial hair is rough as well, so I can't say anything about that.
Yeah, I was gonna get rid of it.
I've got pubic hair on the face as well.
I was gonna get rid of it a couple days ago, and then I got sick, and then I just didn't feel like it, and now I'm here. And now
you're here.
And now I'm gonna get a very mean text message from Ryan after this.
No. I don't think that's been me. I think I get more pissed off about the B word blowout and Brad trying to show me that he has more hair than
Have
I
we
do.
learned anything? I think Brad and I are close to the same age. No, he's a little bit older than me.
Yeah,
I'm the old guy.
He is the elder of the group here.
Yeah,
he's the elder.
40
of the group.
40 is not too far away.
No, you're
Elder
getting there.
statesman. Me neither. I'm.
Kevin just turned 17 last week. Zach
Also,
13. Give me
Zach is still a child.
Yeah, I'm
Speaking
still
of that mustachioed individual over there, we're gonna have a conversation about this turkey.
Yeah, I'm
or
telling
maybe
you.
a wager. We need to have a wager.
Don't even. Your team might as well not even show up. The whole might as well not even enjoy your Thanksgiving and just save everyone the embarrassment.
I mean, have you guys figured out what your mascot is yet?
Oh my God, we're at this point.
If I gotta start, I mean, I can't say that on air, but I'm not.
No,
you already know where I'm going.
Okay.
Reel him in, Kevin Herder.
I'm already,
Let's go.
I'm already, I'm a few Chardonnays deep. What of it?
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Hey, it's a great drink of choice here. It's the holidays, right? There you go. Oh, is that a natural light?
Oh,
natural.
What in
Brooks
Ocean City?
What? Oh, you know what?
Yeah,
it does.
Might as well just take a piss in a can.
And you know what? That was a highlight of my earlier days, back in my day.
Earlier days, right? I'm like 5 years old.
Yeah, I know. Back in my day. You know. Well, hey, Brooks. Appreciate
All
you.
right, boys.
Yes, we'll talk. You won't get a mean text from me.
Hey, happy Thanksgiving,
I
Brooks.
got no affiliation with the Dons or Calvert Hall. I hope you both lose, but it's not going to happen. You know, I hope you guys.
Yeah. I hope you guys find a way to figure out how to be in a turkey bowl one day.
Yeah.
I'm just a fighting Quaker over here.
Yeah, Kevin's just happy to be.
What is it with
I have no say in this because athletics and friends are just not it. So,
private schools have the weirdest mascots, the weirdest names, like
the Friars.
What's wrong with the
Friars?
The Hounds.
Yeah, the Friars is weird. The Quakers.
Yeah,
the fighting
Quakers.
The Dons is
They're
weird. Like, look, this public school kid at least had a panther as a mascot. It's actually
Oh,
legit.
real original.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, Black Panther, by the way.
Well, so again, real original. The Fighting Quakers is what's the thing when it's a is it a hyperbole? Or what's the
Fighting Quakers.
No.
Tell me.
I believe
you're
it's a hyperbole. Hyperbole.
Can't be any whiter. That's all I'm saying.
The Quakers don't fight though. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Quakers are
that,
peaceful. That's the part I'm getting at here. But Brooks, appreciate you, man. Yeah, I'll bother you. I'll text you.
Hey, maybe it's our FaceTime once or twice.
Let's go. Call him out. Call him out.
Good luck.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep messing with you, dude, every single time.
You should.
I'm
And guess
going to.
what? I won't be answering that call later on. But Brooks, appreciate you, man. Appreciate
Thanks,
you.
Brooks.
Mixing the water. All right, here we go. He's a good kid. I think he came on more to just roast us. in the
Yeah,
group.
I'm here for it.
I'm here for it too. This is why we love our call-ins. We want to talk about the game and sports, but oxymoron was the word.
There we go. Hey, I have some. So we asked folks in earlier in the show about their non-traditional traditionals, and I wanted to make sure that we address those because I thought they were interesting. Jessica put up, before my dad passed away every year, we all got up early and then he made us clean the entire house, even though we didn't host, and he sat on his tush.
That is that truly is
That is incredible.
That's truly a tradition like no other. Jessica, if you're
That
still
is
tuning in,
amazing.
appreciate that. See, like those are the stories, right?
Yes.
Those are what you know what,
Yeah.
and I'm sorry about your father's passing, but those are stories that live on
Awesome.
right there. Like that's
awesome.
The holiday stories. The holiday stories.
Joe says a non-traditional tradition is that we don't cook.
Oh,
just going to Chinese. Get some Chinese for Thanksgiving.
Have you guys ever done Chinese dinner or takeout for Thanksgiving? 'Cause
No.
I have.
You have?
Not
I
for
did it.
Thanksgiving, for Christmas, yes. but
I did it for
Well, you do it for Christmas because that's like a Jewish thing, right? They all do that for Christmas. Is that?
Yeah.
Well, so let me ask you this: is it like, oh, it's Christmas, we're gonna get Chinese, or is just anything takeout?
Well, I mean, the stereotypical thing is like Jews go out and get just Chinese takeout for Christmas. But like what my family did is we would travel on Christmas. So like we would go on vacation
treat it like a
and
day
like,
off.
do all that, and then we would schedule the flight back on the 25th because no one's at the airport.
That's so smart.
That's really smart.
Yeah.
So
Legit.
That's how we did it.
I to finish why I had Chinese food.
Yeah.
It was the year of COVID Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Supposed to go to my mom's. Now she wasn't sure if she had it, so she was
Oh.
waiting for the test. So we were about to go to her house, and she's like, "Whoa, like sorry, I might not." So we audibled, and Jamie and I ordered a shit ton, and I think it was the most Chinese food we've ever had.
Like $100
For
of Chinese.
It was almost a Thanksgiving of Chinese food. We tried
Hell
to get
yeah.
as many sides as possible to make it that way. And then we celebrated. My mom's test came back negative. We celebrated like 3 days later or something
Yeah.
like that.
I love that.
Oh yeah, it was great. I'll tell you what, man, that was an interesting tradition.
Hey, last one we got that responded. Going around Thanksgiving table, everyone says 4 or 5 things they're grateful for, an attitude of gratitude.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
I think it's always
Good one.
perspective, right? And I think it is something that's very healthy in this day and age and world where we go on social media all the time. What do you got?
We have officially Roquan Smith is inactive, along with Arthur Millette, Rasheen Ali, Sanusi Kane, Nick Semek, and David Ojabo is once again a healthy scratch.
Oh
man.
So yeah, so
Where
Roquan.
is he about a job?
I'm happy with Roquan being sat, like you
Yep.
said, Kevin. I think that's the right move.
Yep.
It's a risk.
If
with
it was
the Hammers.
playoffs, he would be playing. If it was the playoffs, he'd be playing.
And also keep this in mind, and again, players can fight through and you never truly know, but at least for Ravens fans that watch, you guys saw that game with the Bucks and Ravens. Mike Evans was nursing a hamstring injury that he was playing through. And that one play where he had a chance to catch it, ball falls, he hurts his hamstring on the play on top of it. That knocked Mike Evans out until this past week. He hadn't played in the game, and the Buccaneers lost some very close games, and you think they could have used Mike Evans in that game against the Chiefs they lost in overtime, or the 3-point game against the San Francisco 49ers. Losing valuable pieces, even though it doesn't come down to one player, losing a guy like that does matter. And for Baltimore Ravens defense, Roquan Smith's not a guy that they can really want to afford to miss for the stretch run here, especially who they have up next with the Philadelphia Eagles coming to Baltimore. So, it's interesting. It's just the way the cookie crumbles. The cookie crumbles. Yeah. And if you're new to the channel, hit the like and subscribe button. Brian Ripken Show do it live every Monday, Thursday, and whenever the Ravens are playing. That's why we did our show later today. Brad, you got any thoughts, concerns? Are we getting close?
Hey, I'm thankful for you boys. Shout out to the boys.
Oh, look at Brad. Look at Brad.
And fuck Rocco.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much how I feel.
Let's
I
go.
Bases. That's pretty well said.
That's the energy we need here.
Happy Thanksgiving, boys.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Hey, and before we get on out of here, I did want to mention that we have a lot more talking about the community. Maybe we'll start it with what could happen at the Eagles game. Eagles 425 game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, 425.
So we've already established that us doing the pregame show while the 1 o'clock games, we're not going to do that. We'll do it earlier.
Yeah.
But maybe that's where we actually get to the lots. and we have a little bit of fun
Heyo.
here, and we have some fun with Gridiron Golf here as we have some fun opportunities around M&T Bank Stadium. For Gridiron Golf, as we have it, I think we have it set up if you can see it right there. Boom, baby. We're back, and we're actually going to have the creators of Gridiron Golf come in and explain the different variations that we can play. But we also were talking about, hey, why don't we hit the road and head down to tailgate? We always are usually in here for the Ravens, and we send Zach out. I think we'll do the show, and we're going to all hit the lots. And that's going to be a massive game in Baltimore. And I'm kind of excited for that 4:25 start. So heads up, next Sunday, we're going to do the show in the morning so we can have some fun around the lots there.
Yeah.
So come find us for the Ryan Ripken Show at M&T Bank Stadium for the Eagles and the Ravens next Sunday. So anything else, Kevin? You thankful for anything?
Man, we're coming up on my 1 year with me being on here and being a part of the team, man. So I'm thankful for the show too. We're not officially there yet. We're not that. Zach had his moment a couple months ago, but man, it's been awesome to be a part of this ride, and I can't wait to keep it going.
Do you have the exact date noted down?
No, he doesn't.
It was early December.
Kevin, to be keeping track of something. We really expect this.
Hey,
I mean, I could find it pretty.
Who knows
easily.
his cat.
I remember I clapped for myself when you introduced me,
That's not.
which
surprising.
is pretty on brand. If we're being
And if that was a foreshadowing thing of what was to come,
It nailed it. It nailed it. If that was foreshadowing.
one of the most electric shows we're going to have in the next 6 months is when we get to play the video of the cat story on the 1 year Cinco de Mayo.
Oh,
yeah.
thanks.
That's going to be that's going to be electric.
how did that still lives in
Infamy.
infamy? Oh, goodness gracious. Well,
I'll never forget that day. Like I just say, you guys want to go play some golf at 5 iron?
can't. No,
Well,
can't.
I got better things to do. I got a cat's birthday party to go to.
No, I
It's
said I would 100% go. I just
like,
happened
all right,
to-
well, fuck me
Kevin,
then, I
you could have
guess,
just
you
said
know?
you were busy.
Yeah.
Could have just said you were busy.
one of the funniest responses ever.
Yeah, that was. You can just say you don't want to come.
That's exactly what I said.
Yeah.
It's like, bro,
Well,
you know,
look, I don't blame you. Like I probably would have said the same thing.
Like, dude, you don't have to make that shit up. Like everyone knows you ain't going to a cat birthday party.
I said no. That's something where like you have to have proof. Like you can't just say that and then not have proof of it.
Yeah, and you had a lot of proof.
yes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, guys. Well, before we get out, any guys want any? We don't have to put it in, but if you have any bets that you like, you love the over in this game, Brad. That's one that you are hammering.
Yeah.
I'm
Hammering
gonna
it
go. I think Zay's over under is 58.5. I'm gonna take Zay. I'm gonna get away from Derrick Henry for a little bit because I think this is one of those games where Zay Flowers just has really like I could see him being 100 yards in the first half doing one of those Zay Flowers things.
He's right at 59.5 as
59.
we speak right now. So it's a good thing right there. Hey guys, maybe this will go with my prediction, but the Ravens line at 2.5. I like that. I'm taking the 2.5. I think the Ravens, they win this game. I think it's a closer game. It's not the B word. I think it's going to be a good game. And with the two brothers facing off, Jim and John, I think it's going to be a tight matchup overall, but it should be a good matchup. But one, the Ravens should win if they're able to keep the game as clean as they can. And primetime Lamar is second to none. Kevin?
I mean, look, if you want a almost guaranteed thing here, I mean, Derrick Henry anytime touchdown, like it's been literal money this year.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want like the most sure thing that can happen, I mean, just take Derrick Henry anytime touchdown. It's very likely it's going to happen because what has happened all year. Just exactly that.
Although, fun fact, Chargers have only allowed one touchdown to an opposing running back.
But they haven't faced Derrick Henry yet. So
like
that's
the-
the thing.
And Derrick Henry's odds to score tonight, one touchdown.
Minus 250, isn't
Yeah,
it?
probably not getting a lot of return on that.
It's up on some as close to minus 300.
Like, there's just that's not worth it. You have to be betting 2 touchdowns. That's just that's my and unfortunately Saquon's getting the same way. Saquon, because of Hurts and the tush push, like his odds can never get too weird. But Derrick Henry, the odds books are just like, we understand you're just going to score every game. There's no reason that they're like, we're not giving you guys this money anymore. We get it. He's scoring. I'm surprised they're just like not going to start doing the, hey, he's not available.
Yeah.
Like you have to just start at 2 touchdowns. So like, we're giving you money for 2 touchdowns, nothing else.
Right.
Oh goodness, I'm seeing some other thing from people here. Saw that we got a Zay Lamar Henry parlay.
I would like that.
May the odds be in your favor there, Jake DeMann. We got Rick saying Mark Andrews gets the first tutty tonight.
Ooh, first touchdown.
And right now I'm seeing some opportunities for T-downs or touchdown scores as I'm looking through this puppy. First touchdown score, Mark Andrews plus 1,200. Plus 1,200 for
Wow.
Marky Mark. Who do you, I'll ask you guys this question, asking for a friend and myself. Would you start Will Dissly or Mark Andrews?
Will Dissly.
Oh, damn.
Will Dissly.
I have Dissly in there right now.
Selfishly, it's Mark Andrews because he's in my.
I've been. I'm not gonna lie. My fantasy team has been getting carried by the tight end position by Will Dissly the past 3 weeks. So unfortunately I have to. I don't need him to do anything. So I hope he doesn't because I don't need him to do anything in fantasy. But he's getting, I think, the most first read targets by a tight end.
He's been their second weapon so far this season.
Yeah.
Or sorry, over the last
4 weeks or so,
whatever it is. It's been Ladd.
I didn't even know who Dissly was.
Yeah.
Up until about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, he was the he was on the Seahawks.
Yeah.
And he was just a blocking tight end, and then suddenly went to LA, and they were like, "You're really good at receiving now." He's like, "Okay."
Yeah.
What there? I love seeing let us know what you guys need for fantasy tonight as well. But as we get ready to close out here, but Zach saying he needs 40 points from Henry and JK. That means you're looking for an offensive performance here. You're thinking the Chargers score a few times. It's because of JK, and you're thinking Derrick Henry's getting in there.
Yeah.
British Raven, Nick, I have Derrick Henry and J.K. Dobbins getting 10-plus yards in each quarter. 5, is that the euro? Pays 155 euros, or is that pounds?
I think that's euros.
Euros?
Yeah.
The euro?
Yeah. That's a good payout.
That is a good payout. It's exactly a good payout. Got some good kids here. Tylen game again, 100 plus yards for Tylen.
Yeah, there you go.
Put him in the all purple on the sideline, and you got something. But aren't they wearing what? They're wearing all whites tonight. Is that what they're wearing tonight?
Oh, it's Nick Moore's least favorite combo.
Yeah, the Michelin Man is playing tonight.
He's gonna be he is gonna be out there. Hey, you know what? I didn't list this earlier for Thanksgiving for sides. 3 sides real quickly.
Yeah.
We didn't do that yet. I like the conversation. I like you guys and Kevin. So we got for 3 sides. What's stuffing considered? Is that considered a side?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly would put stuffing up at 1.
Yeah.
I have now become a huge fan of I have always been a fan. The mashed potatoes with the gravy inside. It's a must. Those are the top 2 for me.
Mm-hmm.
An outlier for me, it's if Jamie makes them when she does. She makes this specific this green bean casserole that she's been making now. Those are like the 3 for me. Have to have with all the turkey and other meats.
The green bean casserole is underrated. It's so good.
Anyone else have their top 3? I mean,
mine's gonna be stuffing, mashed potatoes, and then yeah. After that, it's where I'm gonna put cranberry. I love cranberry.
All right, so mine's moving on. Mine's I'm with Joe. Sauerkraut's up there for me. That's probably number 1. Then I will go with the sweet potatoes with the marshmallows and all the shit on top of it. So good. And I'm probably going stuffing too.
Kevin.
But it's got to be made right. Like none of the stovetop bullshit.
No, it's got to be made right.
Yeah.
Get it right, get it tight.
That's
you
right.
got to have that.
Yeah.
Kevin, what do you got?
I'm gonna go mac and cheese number 1. Yeah, I'm going there. Mac and cheese number 1. Stuffing is number 2. And then Zach and I are just on the same wavelength here. Give me some good old buttered rolls. Give me some good old buttered rolls at number 3.
Yeah.
How do you butter your rolls, Kev?
With butter. Thank you very much. I mean, I do. I don't know how you do it, but that's how I do it.
You butter your rolls. How do you butter your biscuit, Kev.
Oh God.
Is that a movie line?
Oh yeah. Nope. That was just another. Kevin has no idea what we're talking about, but it's a hilarious joke.
Ah, goodness. You know what? I was seeing pie and cannolis. Stuffing is great. I'll be honest, Shekel. I don't know as much of. I need to go back to a history class and relearn the Mayflower, more of it, because we're going. Oh gosh, because I just saw the Puritans were Calvinists. That brings me down a path that is going to open up some wounds for my studying as a child.
Oh,
it's the amount of times that I tried to remember and not mess up the different terminologies.
Oh
there.
yeah.
That's where it goes down there.
Hey, desserts. What's your favorite?
Oh,
pumpkin pie.
Mine's cherry.
Apple.
Pumpkin pies for Zach. Apples. Kevin. Oh, we all got different ones. What you got?
I think I still like the apple. I know that Nick loves the mud pie, right? It was
that
was
pie,
his.
My mom makes like the cherry pies with like the lattice and everything. She goes crazy on that shit. Looks incredible. Tastes incredible. It's awesome.
Oh man, I cannot wait to be overstuffed and watch so much football and have in my big money league at home, or like for the big money one, I think 6 guys playing on Thursday night football, or 7.
Damn.
So it's like fully dedicated. Thank goodness none of them are in the Dallas Giants game.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Baker Mayfield's pettiness of throwing out how hard he hit the Tommy DeVito.
Yeah. Oh God. Went crazy on that. What's your
nuts.
answer?
I'm gonna go apple for now. There's another dessert I'm missing. There's a specific apple pie, but I can't remember it.
Okay.
Oh, pecan pie is good too.
That's so damn good.
Holy hell! I just saw that.
There's so many of them.
Oh, you know what? I never had an apple crisp until like the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Yep.
Phenomenal. I'm seeing a lot of things. Caramel apple cheesecake, pumpkin. You know, we need more of these segments. Look at all the engagement here of people that are just wanting to eat. And you know what? People are ready to feast. I know a lot of people are ready to see the Ravens feast. Hopefully it's Derrick Henry in Baltimore and Lamar Jackson doing their thing. Ravens, Chargers, hour and 15 minutes away from kickoff. Can you dig it? We got no one digging over there. Thank you, Kevin. Goodness gracious, guys.
Because Zach's been moving so much that the camera just like
it refuses to focus on me anymore. I start sitting still and it's like it doesn't know what to do.
Matt Stackhouse, mac and cheese. By the way, when you brought up mac and cheese, Kevin, that's one thing you and Nick can actually relate on.
Yeah.
Probably the only thing you can actually relate
Nick
on.
Moore.
Yeah. Yeah, not British, not British Raven, Nick. Nick Moore. Possibly Pro Bowl long snapper, and the voting is starting now.
Yes.
Yes, it's open today.
Open today.
Come now.
We have to vote Nick Moore into the Pro Bowl. So Pro Bowl 2024. I'll make sure to put the link in every one of our streams. I think what is it the same thing as like MLB? You can vote like 5 times a day or some shit.
No, I think that's just tweets, isn't it? Because NFL does it so horrendously. It's like number of tweets with the hashtag, and then sometimes it's the hashtags. Some days hashtags count for
we'll figure it
different
out.
numbers of
hashtag counts as double. Yeah.
We're getting Nick in there.
Yeah, we're gonna need to get Nick in there. I want you to vote for Nick Moore to the Pro Bowl here. Hopefully the Ravens are in the Super Bowl, so he can't participate, but
he'll still be a Pro Bowler.
It'd be an amazing, amazing feat to be able to do that. Shekel, that's actually a very interesting question. How many gallons a day of beer ration did each passenger receive, including children? Ration. I'm really curious.
I don't know. How many
curious.
gallons a day? A day? I can't even drink a gallon of water in a day.
It's a lot. It's a very good question, but you know what?
Is it? I guess it's combined. And no, it said each.
Makes you think.
Everybody's just shit faced the whole time coming over.
Can you imagine? Well, you might need to sometimes.
Yeah. All the seasickness. Whoa.
Hey, you know what? Before we get out of here, just one more time for the one time. If you don't bring this type of energy to your Thanksgiving,
that's right.
I don't want it.
Yep.
You know where I'm playing. You know what I'm going with, right?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Said you don't become a Brown until you beat the Steelers. What will it take tonight?
The horse is prepared for battle, but victory comes from the Lord.
That's right.
On the Lord.
Amen.
Is that the message to the team?
Day by day, one play at a time. That's the message.
weather conditions tonight. We're expecting winds up to 15 miles
That's
per hour and a
point.
wintry
There it
mix.
is.
How will that impact your ability to throw the ball?
I am so happy and grateful that the Lord has blessed me to play in some snow, to be in true football weather in Cleveland, Ohio at Huntington Bank Field today to give him the glory. It's a beautiful day.
Sure feels like you're playing in the AFC North.
It is.
You know what I loved is he didn't even answer the question.
He
How are
did.
you going to throw in the cold weather?
The Lord gonna handle it.
The Lord has
All the-
blessed me to play in the cold. If
All
you're
the
not,
Lord's children say,
if you're not getting the horse ready,
Amen.
if you're not getting the horses ready for your Thanksgiving, that's
Yeah.
for opening line there. That is how you have to attack this holiday.
That's right.
Amen.
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 Preach.
Jameis damn Winston.
All right. I think that's enough here for it, guys. We appreciate
Jameis
you.
Winston.
Okay. 1, 2. As always, here at the Ryan Ripken Show, we appreciate each and every one of you. Enjoy the Ravens-Chargers game. We will be back for a reaction a little bit tomorrow. Check out Kevin and Zach Reacts. And as always, though, have a day, have a night. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. Appreciate you all. Thank you. We caught it. It was a catch. Toss. Toss.